Hey, everybody. Welcome to Core. This is Core. We're here to talk about video games. It's the only podcast to include 7 total nipples and 16 toes. That's a fun fact. Where do you think all those nipples are?
Wait, 17 nipples?
It's 7. So you've got 2. John's got 2. Yeah. That's 4. I have 3. Just kidding. I don't.
You got 3. You have 3 nipples. You got a bonus nipple.
I don't have a bonus nipple. I'd love a bonus nipple, but I don't have one.
I mean, it would be fine. We'd still be your friend. I wouldn't make fun of you. It'd be something new.
If you have a bonus nipple, Scott, we won't judge you.
No, I would proudly show it. I would not be afraid to let that be proud and loud. It wouldn't bother me at all. Like that kind of stuff where you got like a weird, not malformation, but just something that's different than everybody else's physically. It's never been an issue. Yeah. I don't mind.
I mean, I can see if I had like, a secondary pecker, like
secondary pecker
on my hip or something. I might be embarrassed to not say something.
That's true.
Even now, I just feel like I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna tell people about this weird thing.
No, that's like if you get a permanent red ring on your arm, and people are like, "What's that?" Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know. We don't know what it's causing. Isn't that weird? But if you had that same red ring permanently on like your butthole, you're not going to show anyone. Right? So it does depend on what it is.
And you're not really going to tell people, like, if you look at my butthole, there's a red birthmark all the way around it.
Yeah.
Like a bullseye.
Yeah. Right. You don't want to spread that around. But also, I'm not going to shame myself either. I'm done with that in my life. No more shaming.
But also, if it had it, how would you have found out?
Your
doctor.
Your doctor. There you go. I was going to say something way worse, so I'm glad you said
like,
doctor.
We need to check that out. Is that malignant or benign? Yeah.
I was going to say your neighbor. They're looking in the window.
Well, if you got a peeping Tom for a neighbor.
Hey, neighbor, I noticed the problem. You might want to...
I was using my old binoculars there in your window.
How's that red ring of death doing there for you? Well, anyway. Let's get into it. Oh, I got a big interview scheduled for Friday for the show. I'm very excited about this. I can't wait to put it out into the wild. I don't want to hint too much. I will say,
is it done? Is it in the can?
It's not. We record Friday, and I will put it up Friday.
I'm stoked. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good one.
These guys know who it is. I haven't told anyone else, but I will say this for today's show, just as a fun game. This person. When we get to this person, nobody make any big deal out of it. But let's just say his name might come up in today's discussion in some other context. And that's your hint as to who I'm talking about.
Is that obfuscation? Or
I like that Scott gave us advice that of the 3 of us on the show, he's the only one that would need to follow.
Yeah, it's been almost a decade now we've been doing this. And I think John and I have a pretty good track record. Scott, not so much.
No. You're not.
Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say Bruce Willis isn't alive at the end of the film.
Wait for that part where his ring lands on the floor and rolls away, then you'll know what I'm saying. But don't bring any attention to it. Yeah, you're right. I do this all the time.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say Darth Vader might be related to another character in the movie that likes to use a lightsaber, and his name's Luke Skywalker. He's the son.
There you have it.
Wow, you're getting roasted today, Scott.
You know what? I don't want to freak you guys out, but Beau, you mentioned it. In March 10th to be exact. Well, let's see. First episode landed 20. Oh, no. Is that right? No, this can't be right.
What did I do? What have I done?
Not March. Sorry. September of this year. I had the date wrong. September of this year. September of 2015, we put up our first episode of Core. That was on the, there was a placeholder on the 20th, and the 26th, we put our first episode up.
Oh, so it is a 10th anniversary.
It'll be our 10 years.
10 years.
Wow.
10 years we've been getting on the internet and talking to each other.
That's insane. That's crazy. You want to hear what the first episode sounded like? Here you go. Listen.
Something is not right here. Be cautious.
Oh, the old days. Remember that?
The old days. What does we sound like? We probably.
Let's find out. Let's see.
That you see him in these dual comps. Like oftentimes the dream is Leoric and Joanna.
You sound different.
Yeah, I know. Fast forward.
Really different.
All right, let's hear from John.
But I had a different mic back then. But
like 10 HP and you're
I think
heroes soon.
Okay.
A wave of minions coming at you. You press one button and you've killed half of them, and the others are,
Yeah, we all had bad mics back then.
You guys were children.
I know. We sound like children.
What did I sound like? Hold on.
Now I'm like, I can't get excited for any games except
the expectations are still there. And
Ooh, I sound high too. What's going on? That's really weird, man.
Oh no, I think we've all upgraded our mic game.
Yeah, I think so too.
over
That
the
helps.
years.
Also, did you like how I didn't react when you played Artanis? So
Yeah.
nobody knows.
Yeah.
None's the wiser, Scott.
That's awesome. All right. Well, anyway, happy soon to be 10 years. We'll make a big deal out of it when we get there. That'll be fun.
Which date was it? Sorry, June?
September.
Oh, September.
So we got
All
till
right.
fall. Yeah, we got plenty of time to
So
plan our
close to
big
my
blowout.
birthday.
Yeah.
Oh.
We could celebrate your birthday and that at the same time.
Yeah, nice. What do you
Anyway.
guys want to do? Chinese?
Chinese is good. And gravy on French fries, I understand, is a favorite up there. So we could do that.
Shawarma and poutine.
Yeah,
Oh.
poutine. We all say poutine, but we know it's poutine. We know.
Well, poutine, that's like, you guys say French things weird, and I don't blame you. I know a lot of Anglophones who do, but it's poutine.
It's poutine, not
Yeah, I can't say that,
poutine.
so I'm just going to say poutine and be judged.
Yeah.
Well, soon you'll all have to learn French. Bienvenue au nouvel état de l'Union. or whatever.
No, they can battle it out.
Francophone.
All the people in Panama can fight over that language coming up here, and then we already have a whole Spanish-English thing going on. So bring in the French. Let's
They'll
make
all
it.
lose, probably. It's just the French will not. They will bomb the shit out of everything.
And then the Dutch or the Danes or whatever. Who owns Greenland? I forget who's over there. And so I'm part
well,
of the
it's
problem.
Denmark that owns Greenland.
That's right, Denmark. So Danes. If the Danes come over here, well, then we got to learn what is it? Danish?
I think so.
Oh shit, we're screwed.
Danish,
We're screwed.
Denmark language. I got to have to look it up. I don't know.
All right. Well,
Yeah, it's Danish.
good
Okay.
luck to
All right.
everybody. Also, anybody who can hear this who's in the LA area trying to stay away from those fires, we are thinking about you. We are hoping for the best.
Yes.
I've been on the phone off and on with a bunch of friends out there. It is hairy, gnarly, and awful. And I hope if you can hear us, that means you're safe. I hope. We would love to do more somehow. I don't know. Well, maybe in the aftermath of this, we'll try to figure out. Maybe we could do something, some kind of charity or something. I don't know. It's horrible, freaking awful. What's happening out there? So our thoughts are with you guys. All right, let's get to today's main topic. I'm in the wrong place. All right. The big games of January. Some time ago, we started adding the month's games that are coming up. And I love this. I don't know why. This has just really grown on me as a thing I like to do. And so we're going to talk about the games we think might be the big deals for this month. None of them are Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Shadows.
Not, it's a multiple shadows, right? Not just a shadow. It's not just the ninja girl. It's the big cool samurai guy. So I guess they're both shadows. Anyway. I don't know what the shadows actually means in the context of that game, but we'll find out in March. More on that later. Let's start with the ones I care about the most. There's a bunch on here. Most of these I didn't know much about. Like, for example, this Wuthering Waves game is just another open world gotcha anime inspired thing. We're sure seeing a lot of these, man.
It's out, isn't it?
Well,
Why is it
they
not
make
out?
a lot of money. It's so this is because it is now coming to PS5. It is out. It's already playable on PC and phones. It's coming out on PlayStation
Stolen
5.
Valor because of gotcha money. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
they paid GameSpot to put it on the list.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, because if it's not a release, well, I guess it. Grumble, old man stuff. It put old man stuff.
Old man Beau woke up in January. Here he comes.
It's cold,
Telling me
okay?
about-
Freezing in this country.
Here he is.
Again, you want this country? It's freezing up here.
Pretty cold.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
We're all cranky.
Yeah. Cranky and tend to vote liberal, so I don't know why they're thinking this. Anyway.
Although you also left off, speaking of, because this is where I'm going to push back on Beau a little bit on the, like, oh, it's not worth talking about if it's just coming to a new platform. Yet, one of the big games, not on the list from what you copied, but certainly big for both of us, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming to the PC this month.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't that transfer over? PC version of Rebirth, Beau, you're ready to play that, right?
Yep. I'm going to be ready to go on launch day.
Didn't you both
But I
pay?
mean, you know,
you both
I-
paid for PS5 versions of this game, right? So you're both paying twice for
I
this game.
bought a literal PS5 to play it.
Okay, I don't feel
Like-
so bad anymore because yes, the answer
I'm
is
in
yes.
$600.
I've bought this game twice,
Like,
and
what-
Beau got gifted it, so he's only bought it once, but he bought a PlayStation 5 for it too,
Yeah,
so he's still
I
in a
definitely-
worse shape.
I'm definitely in almost $1,000 for this dumb, stupid game.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. I mean, its pacing issues aside, which everyone says it has. Sounds like you guys are in for a treat. It's going to be good. It'd be run great.
Yeah,
on
I think it's
PCs.
going to be good. It's really just the frame rate sucks. It's like, I mean, look, I know people are aware of how badly I speak, and I think, just generally consoles don't get that much love, but it's seriously an embarrassment, PlayStation. I mean, good God. I bought the system for the one game to play, and it plays like shit on your console.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's not quite fair to levy that at everything in the catalog. That particular game.
I mean, I'm just one person, and this was my $800 journey into PlayStation. Like, you'd think having spent $800, I'd be more like rationalizing why my money was well spent and that I'm not an idiot, right? I'm being pretty honest in that I'm sorely disappointed in the money I spent on your console. It's not like I didn't try it and I'm, criticizing something I didn't do or didn't spend. It's like, I've earned my right to review things on this, and yeah, it's bad. I'm sorry.
All right. I don't think you have to be sorry. It's just the Beau take of the day, the hot.
Well,
Beau
I'm
take.
sorry because I like to praise things, and I like to be positive about things, and I hate when I just got to be a downer about it. But it is what it is.
Everyone feel bad about your PlayStation 5 is what we're saying. That's what Beau's saying. Not we're saying, but John and I do not subscribe to this.
He said if you have a PlayStation 5, you're a bad person.
Oh, yeah, that's what I heard.
You should feel great shame.
Yeah. Obviously, that's not what you mean, and we know that.
No.
And I think our listeners as well. Let's jump to the one on here that first caught my eye. Hyperlight Breaker. This is from the Hyperlight Drifter people. This is a 3D iteration of the Hyperlight series. Comes out on the 14th, which is not very far from now. 3D action adventure roguelike set in the world of Overgrowth. The players confront the malevolent Abyss King. This title enters early access this month, so it's not a full release, but we are getting early access on it. That first game's amazing. It's very cool. I have high hopes for this. Although, I don't know, we do have a lot of third-person roguelikes right now. And this seems like another one of those, and that's fine. And it's from a really good pedigree, but I don't know. I'm getting a little long in the tooth on those, maybe.
I can understand that. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
The roguelike thing has, we even... I'm not going to bring it up. I really... the temptation's there. We got to put roguelike in everything, even games with playing cards. Next.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's move on.
You're right, though. Like, we did this with RPG elements in all our shooters. It's now roguelike elements and everything. I don't know what the end of that is, but it does seem like somebody will find a way to innovate. There's also a lot of survivors likes, and those are also roguelikes. Like,
this could be pretty good, though. I never actually got around to playing Drifter. I think I might even own it.
Drifter's great.
But no, I don't own it. But it gives me a Risk of Rain vibe.
Yeah.
Which I really like. Risk of Rain 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not 1, but 2. I haven't played 1. It's just this 1 and 2 are so different because 2 is the third person perspective. I'm saying
Very
this
different
looks
game.
like, to me, like Risk of Rain, but maybe 2. But
yeah. I see what you're saying.
But maybe more like adventure-y and I don't know, it could be better. Like Risk of Rain 2 is kind of random as far as a game goes. Like there's no real reason why you're in the levels you're in. It's just, well, here's a forest and here's a swamp and here's lasers and okay, have fun.
Yep. Probably going to rain because there's always a risk of rain. Sure.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
But this has like story. I don't know. I can see it being really good. I don't know. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I got eyes on this one.
It's a week, like 5 days.
Yeah, not even a whole week away. So watch for that. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD for our Switch owners out there. Actually, this is exciting to me because I'm a big fan of the Donkey Kong series, and Returns is an all-timer, and I love the idea of a 3D 2.5D kind of remake of that game, even if it's just visually better. I also assume there'll be some mechanical improvements, but overall, big fan. of the DK games, the country games in particular. So I do look forward to that, although I probably won't buy it because I would rather have a Switch 2 and then buy these games.
Yeah.
We weren't going through everything on this list, I guess, right?
No, unless if you see something that jumps at you that I have skipped that you want to talk about, please bring it up. Like I don't Freedom Wars Remastered.
I like the looks of Cats of Mona Lisa, but I can see not talking about it.
Well, let's see. Cats of Mona
But it did
Lisa.
get my attention.
You know what? I kind of agree with Beau. When I heard the title and what it was, I was like, I've got there's a ton of free games on Steam where you look for cats. But then I saw this screenshot of it and I was like, well, hold on now.
I mean,
the cat's big.
Okay.
The reason it caught my attention, well, I'm like, well, that's a really large cat.
okay, I will give you. I'll give you this one. There are plenty of like hidden object find the cat games. This is unique in that regard. So yeah. I think I'm.
And there was one other one that I thought, I don't know if you got to it yet. I thought, maybe you haven't gotten that far. It's the Star Wars one.
Oh, we're not skipping that. Yeah, that one's coming up for sure.
All right. Anyways, that's it. I just want to talk about cats.
Stop me if you want to talk about Tales of Grace F Remastered.
Hell, F no.
Okay. Here's one I know John is interested in, and I am too, by association, and that is Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Yeah.
If I can pull it up here. This is all out of order. Hold on. There it is. So I've always been a little bit of flippant about this series. We've talked about it on the show before, but it's very spammy. And then people have been reminding me, well, Scott, sometimes spammy combat is fun. And this series excels at that. And I've given it more thought and I've seen some more video. And I think I might be interested in this one.
Maybe this is the time. Maybe putting Origins in the title of things means it's going to be the best version of that series.
Yeah.
Historically, that's been true.
Yeah, that's always true. There's never been any case where something's called Origins where a guy didn't say,
I'm here to kill chaos.
and then it was awesome.
I mean, look, we're still talking about it.
True. I can't deny you that.
I think we're at a point though too where like, because we've plateaued on stuff and like everything's always better graphics, but this thing's improvement, it is kind of having really a ton of enemies on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a good jumping on point for one of these. I kind of hope it does well, because then I'm not going to try this game just out of my own interest.
You're not going to.
It'll be like, wow, no, this is fun and it's reviewed well and people are enjoying it. They'll be like, okay, cool, I want to check this out because I want to see, like, this experience definitely is pretty interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, this is basically like if you ever watched Lord of the Rings and you saw the battle for Helm's Deep where they like two guys jump into a pile of enemies, but they're so badass that it's fine and they're going to be fine. That's what this is, but it's an entire game of that.
Did you ever do the offshoot Zelda one or Link one, whatever it was?
I did the Dragon Quest one.
Dragon Quest. Good. That's right.
Yeah.
So they do that here and there. They'll cross over with other stuff, and those never really appealed to me because I was like, well, if I don't like the core gameplay, why would I like it if it crossed over? But now I'm just trying to have a fresh attitude about it and not just see it as a button masher that some kid up the street plays. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, I mean, it is kind of a button masher, but like there's fun to be had in that. Like there's fun to be had in, there's 5,000 people in front of me and now I'm going to go own them.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Is there $60 worth of fun to be had? That's the question. I assume that's what this would cost.
$90 for me.
Holy shit. Really?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah. Yeah, and that's the tariffs haven't even kicked in yet. This thing might be $200.
Wow.
It might.
It might. I mean, we don't know. Star Wars Episode 1, Jedi Power Battles. Beau, you're probably beside yourself with excitement on this thing. What do you think of this?
I never played this originally. Is it good?
I don't know.
This is one of the few Star Wars games of that era that I did not play.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because it's Episode 1? I got it.
Yeah, because you love Episode 1.
I watched some gameplay of this. It doesn't look good. And I didn't play it originally, so I don't have any nostalgia. Yeah.
Well, here's what it says. Asper, known for all their ports and stuff, is bringing another classic Star Wars game to the modern systems. The action-packed Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles, a highlight reel of the events that took place during Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The game allows for players to experience the story as famous Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi. May have heard of him. Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, Plo Koon, and 80 Gallia. Am I saying that right? 80.
I don't know 80 Gallia, but I know Plo Koon. Plo Koon's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, did they misspell Mace Windu's name?
They did. They call him Mace Window. Mace Window.
Mace Window made me laugh.
95.
Mace Window. Yeah, it's window. It's window without a W. That's amazing. I didn't notice it.
What I like is the last part of the last sentence, and you need to keep reading.
It says you can also unlock other characters like Padme Amidala, Captain Panica, whatever you say, Kai and
Panaka.
and is it Panaka? Kai Andy Mundi,
Kai Adi Mundi,
and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 guest star Darth Maul.
Yep.
What the
What
frick?
does that mean?
I don't know.
That's true. He was an unlockable character in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. What a weird thing that is. I didn't know
But
that.
he's from Star Wars. Why is he a guest star from Tony Hawk?
To be funny.
Yeah, I guess they
that's
did
why
it.
it made me laugh, because I was like, I didn't understand this reference here. But I'm like, okay.
I'll have to find
You know,
some
Darth
footage
Maul
of that.
from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3.
Darth Maul in Tony Hawk.
I mean,
Pro
that would
Skater
have been
3.
that era, right? Like, so.
I think so.
Yeah, he would use the Force to like throw out the skateboard and then call it back to him to do tricks.
Look at this. Here he is. This is PS2
I
footage.
didn't know this existed.
I didn't
This is
either.
news to me.
So he skates the whole time with the dual saber. He doesn't put that
I
away.
didn't realize that he had the saber out, but like that seems extra dangerous. That makes him edgier.
Yeah, this is right out of the PS2 game. This is actual capture here, although it's widescreen, so I question it.
Yeah, Maul should have been in more movies.
Well, he just went into the baggage claim. I didn't know you could do that in that level. Shows what I remember. Well, anyway.
See, Darth Maul teaching you stuff about skateboarding already.
Yeah, I loved 3, but I don't remember Darth Maul. Was it a DLC thing or?
No, he's just unlockable, like how Spider-Man was in Tony Hawk as well.
Now you're blowing my mind. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, do a search for Spider-Man Tony Hawk.
All
He's
right,
in there.
I'm doing it. Same game. Tony Hawk 3.
I don't remember which one. I think
We're
Spider-Man was in the one
finally learning
before it, because I think I remember being disappointed that it wasn't, because I didn't play 2, so
Oh, it is
probably
2.
in 2.
You're right. It is 2. Here it is. This is him. It says PS1.
There he is.
Oh, that's really stupid. Why is he on the moon or whatever this is?
And see, like he webbed the board back to him. They did cool tricks.
Yeah.
That leaned into it.
It's pretty cool. It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man down at the moon pool or wherever the hell this is. Why are they on the moon? He's not on
Because
Earth.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could skateboard on the moon?
No, I mean, I guess. Wouldn't you be afraid you'd leave orbit? Like you'd do a ollie or whatever and just...
Like, you know, wouldn't you be afraid you'd fall down if you did a trick badly? Like,
It's true.
skateboarders are fearless, man.
It's true. I've never really been a... Beau, you had a zine and everything. You were into that whole scene, right?
Oh yeah, skateboarding I know all about.
All right. Give me...
But like real skateboarding, not like Tony Hawk shit.
Did you ever skateboard on the moon?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Then forget it.
All right.
I don't
Sorry.
imagine
I thought
there's
I
any
was
good
talking to a
spots.
skateboarder. Jeez.
I don't think there's any good skate spots on the moon. It's very dusty, which is not good. I mean, I'm sure somebody would do it for a stunt, obviously. If it was a Tony Hawk could go and grind off the crater, then I'm sure he'd do it.
What is a varial kickflip? Is that a real thing?
Yeah. So a kickflip is when you jump in the air, kick with your leading foot. You kick back, not forward. That's a heel flip. You kick back.
Yeah.
And catch it after one flip. A varial is when you turn the board 180 and catch it, but you don't turn your body.
So it's like a
So
variable...
kickflip is a combination of a kickflip and turning the board 180.
Which is a variable aerial, right? That's why it's varial. Do you think?
No, don't. Most of the names just are like, just have their history in being like called cool stuff. There isn't really an explanation.
Okay.
Like, you know, there's all kinds of names, right? Some stuff like makes sense. Like, but what's an ollie?
Oh, right.
Like, why would jumping with your board be called an ollie? Like, it's just what it's called. It's, I don't know. There's probably a story behind it. You know, if you look it up on Wikipedia or something like that, or watch some skateboard videos, there's a story behind every name. But there's not like it's not like scientific nomenclature.
I think it's because of Game of Thrones, because Ollie jumped in the air with his board and then stabbed Jon Snow in the heart.
I have a real
what I'm
answer.
talking about.
I have a real answer for you. I think John's is pretty good, but I think this is the real one. It says,
Okay.
it says the trick is named after Alan Geflin, who was nicknamed Ollie. He invented the Ollie in 1978, combined jumping motion with a technique of popping the tail of the skateboard, allowing for both the rider and the board to leap into the air without using hands.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. I didn't know that, but like everything in skateboarding is like that. If you look up the name, it's like somebody coined that, or like a K grind is a nose grind, but twisted, and it's named after Eric Costin. He's a pretty great skateboarder.
Only Koreans can do the K grind. Got it.
Nope, he's not Korean, but yes.
All right. Well, anyway, that seems interesting. Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles coming back for all the kids who missed it. There's the new Sniper Elite game. I don't think we care that much about that. Marvel Spider-Man 2 coming to PC. The famed PS5 game from, I guess, didn't it win last year? Best game or something? It was nominated.
No, it was well known for being nominated and not winning.
That's what it was. Yeah, people were mad. I couldn't remember what happened there because obviously BG3 beat it, but yeah, Marvel Spider-Man 2, a very good game by all accounts. John's included. Will be coming to PC.
It was good, except for the times when you didn't play as a Spider-Man. It was very good.
What did you play? Oh, because you're well, do you count Venom with that, or is that not doesn't count with Venom?
No.
He's Spider-Man-ish.
No, it's when you're playing as Mary Jane or.
Oh, I hate that.
There's also a really they were going for something where you play as Miles' love interest, and it's the story of finding out that someone does graffiti. I don't know why we were doing it. I really don't know why it's in the game. It really has no business being in there.
Maybe they'll mod it out of the PC version. That'd be cool.
It's a time you're not playing Spider-Man. There's a couple times they're like, hey, nobody liked this part of the previous game. Let's do more of it this time.
So what is this? Are you warming yourself?
It's cold in here, okay?
Okay.
He's surrounding himself in the warmth of Transformers.
I've got a Transformers blanket.
Pulled out a Transformers blanket.
That's beautiful. I want one.
Yeah,
look
my
at
mom
that.
got it for me.
Oh.
Yeah, look at Soundwave on my blanket here.
Yeah, he's always up to no good, that Soundwave.
Is Shockwave on that blanket?
I don't remember.
He's probably back in some ship. That guy didn't get out much.
No, he's just waiting for a call from Megatron. Oh, wait, no, I think he's there. Is he over Soundwave's shoulder?
Right, other shoulder.
I see purple and one yellow light.
That way, yeah. Where is that? Over there by the side. Who is that?
I see a yellow. No.
Not him?
No, you're going the wrong way.
Oh, go the other way then.
Put it that way.
There's
what is above?
That's Megatron.
I just see purple and a blinky thing. Oh, maybe it's part of Soundwave.
Oh,
it looks like Shockwave was standing behind him.
Oh, that down there. I see. Yeah, it looks like it's his little buddy that pops out of his chest.
Mostly
not Ravager, but yeah.
The other one.
The other one.
The other one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract. But
no, it's fine. I hope it keeps you warm. It looks like it would.
Yeah, it's definitely nice and toasty, but not in here.
Do you hear the warm voice of Peter Cullen washing over you as Optimus Prime going,
Autobots, we must secure the blankets.
That's right. What does he say at the end of the first movie? John's always quoting it. To all Autobots who can hear my voice or whatever.
Oh, what at the end of Transformers 1 or the first movie?
Yeah.
When he's just like, this is a message to all dickheads. We're coming. The Autobots will be on the lookout for you.
See, that would warm me.
So this is just like this is a message to Beau's comfort.
That's right.
The Autobots will keep you warm.
Yep. Wakey, wakey, hands off, Snakey.
Transform and keep him comfortable.
I like
it.
I like where
Can
we're
I get
at.
an audio file with that in it for my phone?
We'd have to find it, but yeah. Or somebody take John's that you just did and not modulate it. You know?
Yeah, just add a little something to it.
Somebody's got time on their hands. And then the other one I think is of note here. There's more, but on this list we have Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. I thought that first game was very cool.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in this too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I don't feel the need to go do everything I can in the first one because I fell off it when I canceled Game Pass because that's where I was playing it and I didn't want to do it all over again, but I would play a new one. So that's the 31st, by the way, that comes out. There's a few others here. Virtua Fighter 5 REVO comes out on the 27th. This is a PC upgraded version of Virtua Fighter 5, which is the last they made in the series, I believe, until this new one just got announced. I'm very excited about the new one, like very. Even though the demo video they showed was in-game, or it was rendered in-game footage, but there's no game yet. It was just like a thing to show the bosses. But it's been floating around on YouTube. It looks really cool. And it's the Yakuza people making it, which is exciting in its own way. But yeah, I like me some VF. I'm a big fan of the series, and I will probably get REVO because I'm in the mood. So bring it
What
on.
about the game below at Warside? This seems like this would be
100%.
something you're interested in.
100% getting this. I don't even know it. Sight unseen, I look at it and I go, oh, it's Advance Wars, but not. Yeah, of course. I will own this.
Oh, is that Nathan Fillion up in the corner? Is the character?
Sure
What
looks
is
like
that?
him, doesn't it?
This looks like they put a picture of him up there.
Let's see. Lava Bird is the developer. Warside is the game. Borrows heavily from the Nintendo franchise like Advance Wars, turn-based tactics game. You send various infantry, naval, blah, blah, blah. Single-player campaign with more than 30 missions, 12 commanders, unique powers. I mean, I'm in. I'll just play this. And this is coming to everything. Switch all the way to PC. I'll probably play this on my Steam Deck a lot. I love games like this, so I'm all in on this whole take.
As a map editor.
Hell yeah, dude. Is this the same people? I don't know if Lava Bird's the same people. There was a fantasy one that was like Fire Emblem. And then there was, I wonder if these are the same people. Let's see.
It's a Cthulhu's Reach, Devil's Reef. No.
No. What is that?
Those are weird
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong dev. Anyway, there's another one. I can't even remember the name of the game, but there's another one on
Let
PC.
me see. Lava Bird. They did.
Lava Bird.
Yeah, I'm looking at all their other games. I don't think so. No, I don't think it's them.
Okay.
I see David, Spring Gun,
Yeah, like you do.
Neighbor Horde,
Sure.
Cthulhu's Reach, Warside.
All right. Well, if they know their stuff and they know how those games work, then I'm excited. If it's just a knockoff and doesn't do anything new, I maybe won't. Oh, Wargroove is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Wargroove 1 and 2 are awesome. They're basically a combination of Advance Wars and Fire Emblem, and they're fantastic. And so I'm all for this. Bring it on. Nintendo doesn't bring this shit to PC, so we got to get it somehow. What else? Let's see. I didn't want to miss that one. Oh, I heard good things about Tales of Iron 1. I never played it, but this new one's called Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter. That could be cool.
I like the art.
Yeah, the art's
I don't
neat.
know much about it, but I think the art looks pretty good.
Kind of Souls difficulty, side-scrolling Metroidvania business. Looks neat, though. A lot of people really like that first one, so. Let's see. Let's skip past that one. We've already seen this one. Marvel
That's
Spider-Man 2 we did. That's it, right? That's everybody.
Yep.
Well, good luck.
Sniper Elite is a big one, even though nobody here plays it.
Which one?
Sniper Elite.
Oh, yeah. I've
It's a
always
big
been
one, even if no
sniper.
one plays it.
I've been sniper curious for a while. I've never played one.
Yeah.
I just, you know what I want? I want to shoot dudes in the head. What I don't want to do is account for wind and distance and all the stuff, the simulation parts of sniping. Zero interest in that. So I always assume there's a bunch of that in there. Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's more arcadey than I think, but perhaps I will try this one. I don't know. That seems like a zombie man is shooting that gun. So there's...
I just know that it's a game that has its fans, and there's always a lot of memes with that game.
How come do we know why this guy's like a zombie man? Like
Well, no, it
Because
does.
It shows
So,
you where the bullets
yeah.
go in. It's like a Mortal Kombat thing, but the franchise has always been like, here's the destruction you're causing into the internal organs.
Oh, I thought this was
yeah,
you
it's
shooting.
like burnout for bullets and people.
Got it. All right. Well, nothing I like more than violent slow motion bullet body horror. So let's go. Let's get it done. All right. Well, there's that. Let's get on to some other news of note. Guess who said no to a Halo Doom crossover for Secret Level? Microsoft did.
Bunch of jerks. Bunch of jerk D-bag jerks.
I know.
Said it.
I would have been excited to see the results of this because what a fun idea. I think Microsoft is wrong-headed on this. I think hopefully they feel bad now after the aftermath and success of the first season. But yeah, they almost had, or they wanted to do a Halo X Doom short, and Microsoft said no. They pitched it and they said no. I don't.
They even wrote an impassioned letter.
Yeah. And it got turned down by the Microsoft and id Software. Both of them said no. Should mention that these guys are laying it all on Microsoft, but id was like, "Nah, we're good." I don't know why they own them now. You know what I mean? id Software is now under the Microsoft umbrella. They're all one company.
Did they say yes to anything, though, or was that the only thing they were asked?
Well, neither got individual shorts either, so I assume that they turned down everything.
I just mean, was there any Microsoft IPs in?
I don't think so. I mean, there's stuff that are on Microsoft consoles, but I don't think anything Microsoft exclusive. They certainly didn't get the pandery PlayStation episode.
No, they did not. Trying to think, did they have anything like that? They had no. None of those were Microsoft exclusives. There was plenty of Sony ones, including, the canceled one.
But
like in a roundabout way, Nintendo got more love than Microsoft did, because Mega Man, even though that's just Capcom, it's not Nintendo, but you think of Mega Man, you think of Nintendo.
Yeah, for sure. That's the most Nintendo adjacent one they did, I guess.
I mean, Mega Man was in that old cartoon where he was like, I am Mega Man, Mega. Like, you remember that when he talked like a smoker?
No, when was this?
It was an old Nintendo cartoon. I think it was in the Mario Brothers Super Show. Like, there was a Mega Man and he would always be like, I'm Mega Man, Mega.
All right, I'm going to find it. I need to see this. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta find it.
TV show, wasn't there?
Yeah, they would have Simon Belmont. Like, they all traveled together. Simon Belmont was in it. Mega Man was in it. I think Donkey Kong showed up at one point. No, that's the other Mega Man cartoon. That one did not sound like... Here, I'll find it.
Okay.
It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
Okay. All right, let's see if I can
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame.
So stupid, dude. I love it, though. All right, I can't find Mega Man.
Okay, I found it. I'll send you a link. Let me just make sure. I'll get to a spot where...
Okay. Oh, Beau found it, too. Did you have a timestamp?
No, that's not it.
He doesn't want you to use that one.
Don't use that one. That's not what I'm talking about.
Apparently
I mean, you can
one's-
play it for a comparison. That was the second Mega Man thing we got.
All right. Is this the intro? It is.
Okay.
Mega Man! All right.
Okay, there's mine. I think he's about to talk at where I stopped the clip, I think.
All right, here we go.
It's Captain N.
Happy birthday, Mega Man! I thought you forgot. Hey,
What the hell is that?
Good friends would never forget their best little buddy's birthday.
We have another surprise for you, Mega Man.
Dr. Wright, my creator.
Oh my gosh!
What? How many packs is he smoking a day?
That's effed up. I guess he didn't have a voice back then, so...
Dr. Light, my creator. Wow.
Can I get the fixed voice box? This one's shitty. Wow. All right.
Oh my God.
I need to track that whole... this is a whole episode. Captain... it's the Captain N thing.
Yeah, it's Captain N. And so, yeah, that's Simon Belmont, Captain N. I don't know who the girl is. But you got Pitt from Kid Icarus.
Dude.
And some dog.
The 80s. Such a great time to be alive. So good.
And some dog probably named McCool or something like that.
Well, look forward to season 2 when they finally get Mega Man right and they make it sound like that kid. Big announcements from Nvidia. This is an important one, I think, for a bunch of reasons, not the obvious ones, but they announced the 5 or the 50 series. We knew they were going to. This is all at CES this week. And dude in the jacket he always wears got up and talked about the new lineup. Everything from an RTX 5090 down to the 5070 Ti's and 5070s. 5070 is priced really well.
Yeah.
First reaction is like, oh, this 5090, $2,000. Good Lord, that's so much money. or about 1,000 for the 40 or the 5090, or sorry, the 5080. You're also going to need about 1,000 watt power supply for that 90, by the way. So time to upgrade your everything. Anyway, but the 5070 is like, this price isn't right. What I saw was like oh, there it is, $550. It's not bad. It's quite
the
good.
5070 is supposed to be quite powerful.
Yeah, it's supposed to even rival 4090 in some ways, but
yeah,
I don't. We'll see.
I'm just.
We'll see. I feel like the Nvidia thing is always. It always hypes a little more than what the card delivers on.
Yeah.
Has been my experience. At least I always go in and I watch what they say, and I go, okay. Now let's roll it back just a couple steps, and that'll be what it actually feels like.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when we got the 40 reveal, I feel like that was promising to do things that the 30s were actually doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now it's going to actually do the thing that we said last time it was going to do. And I kind of feel like we're in the same boat.
I think so too. I remember when the 2080s came out, they were like, yeah, ray tracing, it's going to be awesome. And it really wasn't. It was terrible on that thing. But the 3080s did really good ray tracing. So it was like, oh, okay, finally. But then the 3080 promises didn't come around until the 40s. And now, same thing. Like these
it's sort of like, you know, take it with a little bit of trepidation, what they say.
Yeah. DLSS 4.0 is the big thing here. It will do some crazy upscaling and frame generation. There is, so as you might expect, a lot of AI focus with this thing, just like everything else is right now. But that was already sort of happening. This is just a bigger leap. But for the most part, I don't know. I think my
pretty skippable.
Yeah, my 4080 is fine. I'm sticking with that for a while.
Well, yeah, you got a 40. I'm in the 30s, and I'm thinking about it.
I got a 3060, but I only game in 1080p, so everything runs at like thousands of frames per second. So
that is true. I didn't have any problems with my graphics card until I got a better monitor, and I got
it's like your comic. Yeah. You posted a wonderful comic that's like, sweet, I got a 5080. Time to play Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't help it. I was just like, this is what a lot of people do. They'll get excited. They'll buy the most expensive thing, and then they'll not regret it, but they'll be like, you know, go back to whatever they're used to doing, which is playing things like Stardew Valley or MAME emulation or whatever. And they're using this like advanced GPU that can do anything. But yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if, I mean, it's to me, the big story is just the price going down. Intel Arc Battle Mage is apparently quite good, and I think there's going to be an AMD offering that's also very low price. So it feels like they had to. It feels like this was a miss in the two previous generations of having an affordable tier that was reasonably performant. So this is like good. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. $650.
You know, like this $500 is still a lot of money, but at least it's like, you know, your build will be hopefully sub $2,000 even with the card. You know, so
this 4090 I had to upgrade to 800 watts power supply. I think. Let's see.
Yeah.
I think you're probably around that for that 4070 too. But if you really want to go nuts, get 1,000 watts, $2,000 card, and all the frames and polygons you could ever do.
I was really into like getting a high-end card for a while just for VR purposes, but honestly, aside from Skyrim, you know, I don't know, there haven't been that many, you know, big VR releases, unfortunately, to sort of match. So I'm kind of glad I didn't spend in that sense.
Well, if the tariff threats go through, these are all going to be a lot more than they're listing them now. But for now, these are the prices.
Yeah. I mean, now might be the right time to buy hardware, but I'm not exactly. I got other things to purchase before I can justify a card for me personally, and mine's working just fine. Like I'd get, you know, these are older games, but I'll like play Overwatch, and it's like 300 FPS. I'm like, I'm good. You know, like it's, you know, WoW runs super great.
You're getting all the P's you need.
And even more of the modern games that I play, it's like 1080p. It's like at least 100 frames. So, you know, it's fine.
Yeah. The 5090 Ti did not get announced. 5070 Ti did, but the Ti's in the high end are usually the ones that are like the ultimate one to get, but they didn't even announce that. So that'll probably come later and probably be closer to $3,000. So look forward to that.
Yeah. I still think they're smoking crack somewhat. Like, I feel like that industry needs to get fixed somehow. Like, I'm pretty sure everything's overpriced. Like, I don't think graphics cards need to be thousands of dollars. Like, yeah, have your Ferrari version, it's cool. But like your everyday user SKU, I think even 550 is still like, come on guys.
I think that whole industry, its biggest problem is that it's forced itself into we have to outdo ourselves every 12 months. Yeah. And I don't know how that's sustainable for much longer as this stuff starts to crest a bit. Because I'd argue,
I think that's why they're hardlining to AI. Like, yeah, cards can do games, but most of the presentations about, did you know you can render new faces on your video game models? Yeah. And it's like, I don't think anybody wanted that. Like,
nobody's asking
cool.
For that. Yeah, nobody wants that except people who think Aloy's ugly or something dumb like that.
Yeah, like, I mean, there might be some audience for it, but it's not like. It's not impressive. Like, technically it's impressive, but I mean, it's not.
Well, I saw some examples.
I don't know why anyone would buy it for that reason.
Somebody ran some examples of it, and it's not all that impressive. Like, I wanted it to look cool, and instead, like, you took like these zombie-looking faced creatures. I don't remember what the game was from, but he had like a hood on. He was all kind of gnarled up underneath, and then they showed the version that supposedly improved the face, and it was just Lawnmower Man looking mistake. It was just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but like every year's been like that. It's like AI, and like, it's like, I don't know anyone who actually uses it. Like, it's all just bells and whistles. Like, it's all like, oh, that's awesome, you can do that. And so it justifies why the technology is so expensive. It can do so much.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just need something that plays my games, bud.
Yeah.
Like, it's just shave all that and give me AV1 and let's get these video bit rates up. But like, out from that.
Well,
good.
Just so we can get it into the record, I do not think Aloy is ugly at all. I'm talking about a certain subset of gamers who think that masturbating to their characters or their game mascots is the most important thing they do. So that's all. Okay. Steam OS. This also happened at E3 this week. Big week for gaming at E3. Steam OS, according to Valve, coming to all Steam Deck competition soon or sooner than you think. For example, the new Lenovo Go is going to ship with Steam OS on it by default, not Windows. And I think a lot of people are really stoked about this because the biggest hang up for them for Steam Deck competitors has been, I don't want to run Windows on this thing. That's kludgy and weird. And some people are going to say, well, yeah, but it gives you the broadest compatibility with all your Windows games. True, but that isn't necessarily what people want. They want a streamlined experience. They are deeply invested in the Steam ecosystem. SteamOS highly supports that. I think this is actually really exciting, and I think it will lead, they didn't announce it yet, but I think this will lead to a proper desktop, fully supported, ready to go desktop version of SteamOS with Proton Layer and all that other stuff in there, and make a real stab at having one of the best Linux solutions for gamers ever. I need them to do this year because I want to do it.
Somebody's got to step up because I am ready to dump Windows.
Big same.
There's like a Windows adjacent that does everything I need, that isn't going in the weird direction that a lot of these tech companies are. Like, I've closed I'm in the process of closing my Facebook. I closed my Threads account and my Instagram account, and I've closed my Twitter account. Like, all this stuff, I'm just like, I don't need to be a part of this. We got rid of MySpace over way less. We just were like, that guy's a nerd. We left MySpace. And it's like, I'm just like, I don't need this shit. It's like, it's just entertainment shit stuff. Like, why is it so political and so AI's got to be everywhere and all this stuff? I'm like, I don't care about any of that. So if you just give me an operating system like SteamOS that plays my games and runs the software, I do music stuff. So I would like it to see, I would like something that can, interface with my virtual instruments and stuff.
Sure.
But I have really basic needs for what the computer's going to do. I don't need any of this other stuff. So, it'd be great. I think Valve's in a position to kind of maybe make something cool with their SteamOS. would you install SteamOS if it was like
in a heartbeat? I want to do it now. If there were, I mean, and it can be done. You have to jump through a bunch of hoops, but I've been part of this is because I've spent a bunch of time in desktop mode on my Steam Deck lately, working on this emulation stuff and just being in that desktop environment. I really like it. It's great. It does everything I'm going to ever need my OS to do, especially on a dedicated gaming PC. Like, I have no reason not to do this. This, I think, will end up being the year. And there are a lot of solutions. We're going to get emails about this going, well, we looked at Debian's new this, that, and the other, or this other off split, or like, there's always going to be answers from the Linux community, and that's great. You can send them. It's not a problem. What I'm saying here, why I think this is important, is because Steam and Valve have a way to turn the entire thing into a more mainstream
a lot of users
direction.
want minimum friction. I think some people who have done the work or already just have the knowledge, and it's not friction for them.
Right.
But for me, like, the operating system is a transparent layer. Like, I'm happy when I don't notice it because I'm busy just doing what I need to do on my computer. And I'm not super interested in doing the extra friction, at this point, like how to get your drivers to work and blah, 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 and research. So it'd be nice to have something halfway there that is like consumer ready, that isn't trying to stealth install AI and screenshotting software and advertising and tracking on my computers.
Yeah, this would end up being a for-profit, more of a non-profit OS effort. It doesn't mean there's not profit in it for Valve, but them making a fork of Linux is not a profitable thing for Linux. Like, these distributions are free. That's the point. It's open source. So they add to the open source by making their build of it. That helps their ecosystem. So you'll want to buy games on Steam. It benefits them. They don't have shareholders they have to please every 5 seconds. They are a sole proprietorship still. So they win. We win by just having a better option. And Microsoft's over here going, oh shit, how do we leverage everything all the time to be more and more profitable with Windows at a time where OSs matter less and less? I just think if there was a time to do it, it could be now, it could be this year. And you could easily say, well, yeah, but Linux aficionados have been saying this for 20 years, Scott. No, I know. We used to say that about tablets until it was the right time. We used to say that about smartphones until it was the right time. Like, the right time, I just think, is coming. That's all.
There's a big digital migration like pending now for more normie people. I would say it's coming. Like,
I want to be one
myself,
of those people.
Like, it's like, yes, like I'm already cleaning up the things I use now. Like, everything is an option. I don't have to use them. Facebook's not required in my life. And if I'm just like not into it anymore, I don't have to have it.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of books to read. I'm still playing video games. We're doing a podcast. The RSS feed still exists, so you can always subscribe to the show. We're good.
Yep.
So, that's how I'm feeling about this operating system business. Is like, yeah, I'm ready to like switch to something that is like working well for someone like me. So hopefully soon.
Yeah.
There's a Linus Tech Tip video where they were actually trying to install the current SteamOS on a PC, and it's like not quite there, but
yeah, it's getting there though.
It's working more than you'd think it would work. Like the whole Steam Deck installation image. It is possible.
Yeah,
so
it's fun. I like messing around in there. I hook up a keyboard and a mouse and dink around, learn how to use it, and it's just nice. It's nice and thin and simple, and I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
although before we move on to the next item, just because we're on Steam, though, I don't know if this isn't in the list, but I don't know if you guys saw this, but Steam's getting slapped pretty hard in public discourse because they're Counter-Strike bullshit and like
what happened?
The gambling on it. Well, I mean, there's an expose right now just about how like depraved the gambling side of Counter-Strike is, and they're pretty hands off with it in terms of just letting it fester. But there's like a lot of threats of violence and stuff between the various like gambling sites and things. Like, it's kind of an absolute clusterfuck.
Jeez.
So, there was a pretty big video essayist, this CoffeeZilla guy, did an expose on it, and it's pretty good. He usually is the one investigating fraudulent Bitcoin or coins and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. And Valve kind of not being very good corporate.
Well, I think that this is typical Valve. It's like all the porn on the site, the games. I think they really do have a like let gamers do what they're going to do, hands off kind of approach. And they've got really no pressure. You know, one side of being a public company is you do have some of those pressures more than if you're just Gabe Newell's party palace.
Sure.
So,
but I mean, everyone who's raised a kid probably knows, like, if you try the hands-off thing with the kids, they're going to go as far as they humanly can without, you know, at some point you have to step in and be like, no, like that's enough, you know, like even if, and I just think they have, you know, they're going to have some trouble with that in the public eye soon. It's kind of boiling.
There's an interesting, this article says, the newest highest level Steam user in the world spent $500,000 to do it, has a Discord kitten and $9,000 Counter-Strike gun with the N-word on it. What? I don't know what this is. This is probably a different story.
Yeah, it's probably a different story, but it's just that, like, basically the way it works is people can create, like, package things into boxes and sell them for Bitcoin, and you can gamble to potentially win high-value items. And these are done by third-party operators.
Huh.
It's not run by Steam, but the ecosystem's created by Steam. It's like the gold seller market in WoW. So imagine, and it's not just a gold seller market, but the gold farmers could package up drops from raids and dungeons that are hard to get, and then sell them in boxes. And WoW players could gamble on loot, raid loot, let's say.
This is Valve. This is my face when I hear about these terrible stories right there. Do you see that?
Yeah. That fits perfectly. It really works.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Anyways, you know, Blizzard doesn't, you know, let that stuff. They actively work at it. You can criticize how effective it is or whatever. You can conversate about it, but they definitely take action with respect to it. Valve has not taken any action with respect to it. And, like, it's to the point where, because these are all kids running casinos, they're not like adults, although they're probably backed by cartels and criminal elements. You know, they're threatening each other. They're like doxing each other, getting each other swatted. There's threats of violence between various casinos. Like, it's pretty criminal stuff, typical criminal stuff, like in Valve's backyard. And Valve, it only is allowed to operate that way because Valve doesn't do anything to, like, prevent the gambling. So
sure.
I don't know. Yeah. And it's mostly kids that get into it. Like, everyone listening, if you're over like your 30s, you've probably heard of it, but not into it. But most of the people that get into it are like, you know, 10 to 20 year olds and get into gambling very early for these precious items they think are cool.
Well, yeah, I'm so not in that world. I don't know how this stuff falls out.
Well, that's why the video series was good. If you're interested in watching it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, do. I'd like to see it.
Because it's like, yes, it would not touch us because we are not interested in gambling to begin with. But you remember when you were, you know, 10, parents would tell you not to do something, but your friends are doing it. So you're like, well, screw them and let me do the thing. And, you know.
Yeah, totally get it. In other news, Ubisoft is delaying Assassin's Creed Shadows again. You can play it in March now. It was going to be February. That is no longer the case. You're going to wait another month for quadruple A polishing. That's what they're doing.
Well, and there are some people that are excited about this because February is going to be a very busy year month, not year, for gaming. So there are some people that are excited about this, but overall, this is bad news for Ubisoft. Like, this might be good for people who are like, well, I want to buy the game, and it's going to be good for it to get out of the way of some of these other bigger titles that are coming out. But at the same time, Ubisoft is on a bit of a losing streak, and some of the quotes that have been coming out of Ubisoft regarding this has been a little concerning as well. So I saw right before the show, I saw Jason Schreier on Blue Sky. He posted, Assassin's Creed Shadows is delayed again, now to March 20th. Ubisoft says the company pursues various transformational, strategic, and capitalistic options to extract the best value for stakeholders.
Good Lord.
And then followed up with, we are convinced that there are several potential paths to generate value from Ubisoft's assets and franchises. They're looking to sell themselves, which, I guess we sort of knew was something they were doing, but yeah, Ubisoft having hard times.
Yeah, landing in a hard place at the moment. Who knows what it means for that game? Hopefully, it means that in March we'll be playing a very good game.
It's gone gold by now.
I don't have a lot of high hopes for it.
Oh man!
Look, I'm right a lot of times, but I'm not always right. Remember when I said that Doom was going to be bad? It ended up being one of my favorite games ever made.
Yeah.
Not always right, but I don't think things look very good for. Here's what I would say. We always say don't pre-order video games. I definitely wouldn't pre-order Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. Wait for it to come, and then read reviews and listen to what other people say. Because I'm not feeling that confident, but I also know that. I don't even know it. I know what I want, which is I want the glory of Odyssey and Origins. I want to feel that way again. Maybe I won't, but I want to. That's all I'm saying.
It just feels like you'd probably be better served. Like when I look at this game and I'm like, well, I still haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, which is also
got to finish it.
Well, I mean, regardless, it's just like it kind of is the same-ish kind of game, but like that one's pretty good. Like, do I need to play the weird version where I'm a guy in modern day going back to memories, or can I just play this one? Well, I guess if you really love this stuff, maybe you've played both. But for me, I haven't even gotten to Ghost of Tsushima yet. So I would purchase that over Shadows.
I forgot I bought it. I need to play it.
Yeah, the PC version. You should play
PC,
it.
yeah.
Oh hell yeah, you should play it.
I might beat it before you.
I know, and that makes me nervous. I got to go finish it.
Because man, you aren't going to hear the end of that if I do.
I do want to finish that. Damn it. I really love that game, and I want the sequel, so all that's coming. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. March will come around. We'll talk about it again, see if it even happens. Splash Damage, the developer, is laying off a bunch of people, and that means the Transformers game announced in 2022 is likely canceled. I think that's confirmed at this point.
Yeah, I think it was confirmed.
Yeah, that is not being made anymore, and that blows because I like Splash Damage.
It was a bummer because I remember like it was yesterday, that teaser, and I was like, sweet, a Transformers game. Yep. Shooter, it looks awesome.
I know. And then,
well, you're just not getting it. I guess the good news is they didn't have to waste any Transformers art because they didn't show a single Transformer, I think, in the trailer. So
I think they showed stuff that would, like,
they were all in vehicle mode, like driving around.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
There's a couple of moments of like, oh, that thing's transforming. Oh, it's out of view. I can't see it anymore. Like a lot of that.
I'm mainly making a joke. I'm sure there's tons of work they got to scrap. It's just making jokes. But
bummer.
Yeah, bummer indeed.
Bummer. So that's not happening. Like a Dragon Direct was a big trailer for Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. You guys watched the entire thing. I saw parts.
Buckle up while Beau and I gush about video games for a moment because
do it.
We've talked about companies doing layoffs, companies in trouble, games getting delayed. Let's talk about the beautiful corner of video gaming that is just Yakuza games coming out.
Yeah.
And also, Beau said this, and I completely agree. What feels like a game made to just spit in the face of Ubisoft.
Right. I mean, they made a whole game, Skull and Bones, and this game is like basically has more features than that game, even if this game is goofy.
Yeah.
The quadruple A game, by the way, Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a big rundown of what all the features of the new. It's its own standalone game, but it's kind of a quasi spin-off of the last one. Although this one's going to play like an action game.
It's always tough to describe it because Yakuza uses map assets like full
Constantly.
criminal.
Yeah,
like I don't know why this franchise can get away with it, while like if other franchises did it, they probably get critiqued. I don't know what kind of magic trick they do on us to let us not complain about that, but
because they tell a compelling story, they have interesting characters, the gameplay is good, and it evolves in other ways. And when you see that much effort and passion put into it, you can overlook the little things.
They also don't try to hide it or get cagey around it. It's just like, well, yeah, you're making games. So
yes, you'll be going. Basically, it's like it's its own standalone game. But yes, it looks like you'll be going back to Hawaii, and that's fine because you didn't really play as Majima in Hawaii, so it is a new experience. And I don't know how much of it's in Japan, but you're definitely going to be on the ocean a whole lot.
Yep.
So I've seen a lot of Hawaii. I see a lot of ocean fighting. The game has crew versus crew combat.
Yeah, you can board enemy vessels, something you could not do in Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me, by the way. Can we just say how insane that sounds for you to say that in Skull and Bones, a game based off Assassin's Creed pirate games, where you were able to board other ships and take them over the entire time over a decade and a half, you can't do it in this. This game dedicated to piracy, ship-to-ship piracy. What the F, Ubisoft?
And you might say, well, Yakuza's done like team brawls before in previous entries, like in The Man Who Erased His Name. There's the Hellfire Arena where it's like 12 on 12, battles or whatever. Like they're building on stuff they've done previously, but then you remember Ubisoft had Assassin's Creed, and like they can clearly do large scale battles between two player. Robot controlled teams or whatever, it's possible. So there really is no excuse. But yeah, we got a pirate Yakuza game, guys, and it looks amazing.
It looks so good. You can customize your ship. You can build out your crew. You recruit people, build up their skills. You do pirate training, and host little pirate parties to bring morale up. You got 2 fighting styles that both look good, and he can do summons. He can summon like mystical sharks. Oh, and he does it through instruments. That's the other thing.
I like that. I like that they were like dark instruments, and then it was like an electric guitar, a violin, and a saxophone.
Yeah. Dark instruments.
That's amazing. The combat always this crazy in the fisticuff real-time games? Like it seems insane.
Yeah, but in a different way. Like Majima has his own vibe, so when you say crazy, it's definitely crazy in a Majima way, but they always like The Man Who Erased His Name has like wacky gadgets and like it's colorful and stuff too. So it looks like Yakuza combat, but definitely it's like peak Yakuza in terms of the combat, I think.
Yeah, they're also leaning into the air juggling, it sounds like. So that seems like an area where they've put some attention on this one, but oh my gosh, it just looks so good. I am so insanely excited for this game. I think I might be more excited for this one than the last one.
You're more hyped than me about Yakuza in general, because usually I'm like, oh my god, Yakuza, it's coming. And somehow this one's really just tweaked you. Yeah.
I like pirate games. Like, that's really what it is. Like, anytime it's like, hey, but we're doing this with pirates, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I love ship-to-ship combat. I love pirate stories. I think this leans into the ridiculousness of Yakuza in a perfect way, where it's just, this is the dumbest thing they could have done, and it's so freaking funny to me that this is the direction that they're going. And they got like afterburners on the back of the ship and machine guns and flamethrowers and lasers, and it's just
that was my favorite. That was one of my favorite moments where it's like, load out your ship with cannons, machine guns, flamethrowers, and lasers, and it's like pink lasers. And I'm like, that's not piratey.
Oh, look at all the unlocks. This is great.
Yeah, and like the Madlantis or whatever they call the place where you go, like the criminal underworld, looks insanely cool. And they have a fighting arena, which is not uncommon for these games to have like a fighting arena. But in this one, they pour water into the center of the arena, and these old galleon ships fall into the arena, and you have full-on pirate ship battles in the center of this arena. It looks so freaking rad. Everything about this game seems crazy and cool, and I'm so excited for it.
I know we haven't talked about it much. They showed off video this week of, I mentioned earlier, but they're working on a Virtua Fighter game, and this team is doing it, or the studio is doing it. Does that make you more or less excited knowing that their kind of wacky storytelling could make its way into the world of these fighters, and like a single player campaign mode in VF that would rival, anything Street Fighter or even Mortal Kombat's tried to do with that? I mean, to me, that's exciting. I want.
I mean, I hadn't thought about that part, like the storytelling, because I'm so used to Virtua Fighter just being an arcade game in Yakuza.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about story, but
Which they showed that too.
Yeah,
that was also in this. They showed everything.
But they kind of have
And they still
to.
found a way to do baseball and, you know,
all the
claw
other mini games
machines
are
and
going to be
all the
in
other
a
stuff is
Yakuza
still
game.
here.
Yeah. If you wanted to play this exciting pirate game, but instead you were just really into, golf, like solo golf, then you can just play golf. Or the claw machines in there. Yeah, you like Dungeon Clawler?
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
This has Dungeon Clawler in it.
Fantastic. So I'll show this to the audience who's here live anyway right now. But this is the demo they showed. That it's just a little bit of fighting. But they have an opportunity here, and I hope they take it, because the competition in the fighting space they're all going nuts with campaigns. Like, that's the big thing now. You could argue Mortal Kombat really pushed it and everybody else joined in. The latest Street Fighter's that way. There's no way this thing isn't just a crazy story. It has to be, right?
I hadn't thought of it. Now that you say it, I'm like, yeah, I hope so, because that sounds enticing. I already think the combat looks interesting, given that they didn't show anything crazy. It looks like an actual street brawl.
Mm-hmm.
Very like realistic, fluid. I don't know what the controls will be like, but it was like compelling for how restrained it was in its presentation. You know, there wasn't no like fireballs or even juggle combos. Everything felt like a street brawl. It was martial arty street brawl. So
yeah,
maybe the story will also be sort of grounded and cool. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. But yeah, Like a Dragon, it's happening.
It was a direct, even though the direct was just a 13-minute trailer. So.
Yeah, big long trailer.
The game director didn't come out and say like, "We're very proud this year of our game's performances" or whatever. It was like, here's your 13 minutes about the game. Leave us alone.
Oh, the mini games look insane. A whole bunch of new ones.
Yeah. I like that there's a pirate like Wonderland place, but it's modern. It's just full of signs and stuff. Like, yeah, cool.
If the ship combat and physics are cool, that's probably a game I'll get. Like,
and like one of the things, the crew is all people from previous like just the weird cast of characters they've developed. Like I saw Mr. Aloe happy, so he can be on your team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's guys. There's an enemy that dresses up in like a girl outfit and wears like a big anime girl head thing. It looks like you can recruit one of those for your ship.
Great.
So it seems like you can recruit all the sickos in purple from the other games.
I haven't told you guys this before, but I'm convinced that the reason these games are so nuts is to keep the real Yakuza from being pissed that they make video games about their honorable history and everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if these were serious, like even just GTA serious, like serious look at the underbelly of the Yakuza, I think that would be dangerous. So they have to go.
Didn't
full
you
goofy.
watch that video, Beau, where the guy who's an ex-Yakuza member critiques the Yakuza series on its accuracy?
Well, yeah, they're like pretty, like the silly stuff's silly, but it's pretty accurate.
Really?
Yeah. That was what they came to. They're like, yeah, the silly stuff's ridiculous, but all these details, that's all spot on.
That's funny.
The games are usually like 2-track. It's like the MSQ is like just a serious ass thing usually, and then everything else is ridiculous. You'll be like, oh, I just dishonored the family by doing this thing, and we had a dramatic falling out. Anyway, I got to go play Virtua Fighter now.
But how does he do that in pirate? Like in the pirate costume, it feels like you're never going to be serious. Like you're always going to be.
No, but that's Majima is always like he's a madman. Like he's the mad dog of Shimano, and because he's got a screw loose. So the way they did it with Like a Dragon was Ichiban would look at the world as a video game.
Yeah.
So probably what you're seeing here is, he knocked his head and thinks he's a pirate. So everything to him looks like pirate crazy, but maybe that's not what's really going on. I don't know.
Just watching these guys stand around in jeans on the ship deck.
Yeah.
I think John sold me on it already, but I think I'm even more sold now. I think I need to play this game.
I think they throw so much stuff at the dartboard that eventually they find your interest and you go, all right, I'll give this a try. And then you experience it once and you go, oh, I get why this is popular. And then all of a sudden you're hooked on Yakuza for life.
Yeah. You start playing the other stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, this is cool too.
When's this come out? Did we say a date?
February 11, like a month. We got a month to go.
Jeez, that's crazy to me how soon that is.
Is it Feb 11? Hang on, let me double check. Where are you? Release date, February 20th.
Okay.
So we still got a ways, 2 months-ish, month and a half to 2 months.
It's not much.
It's coming.
Yeah,
get your galoshes on.
We get to the end of this month, and then it's just a month. That's how time works.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
I know. I don't want to freak you guys out.
Get to March, and it's already been out.
Insane.
The diaper dudes. Somebody's asking about the diaper dudes. It's possible they're in this as well. They're more of an Ichiban thing, but I think even Kiryu's come across them because they're honorable Yakuza. They just like to unwind by acting like babies.
Oh.
And they were in Hawaii, so they're...
Yeah. They just happen to take a vacation at the same time. It's sequel.
Makes perfect sense. One final note. Switch 2 is basically announced. Sort of. So Tom, he's there right now, or I guess he's coming home right now, but Tom Merritt is there for his show all week. And somebody who knows or is in some company in the know made a 3D print of the exact size of the Switch 2. And it's about an inch or maybe a little bit more wider, the whole thing. So bigger screen, the whole thing's just wider.
And they had apparently seen one or had some schematic or they had a leak or something, but they're not like beholden, is my understanding, to like an NDA. So that's it's kind of dicky move. Like I realize people are hyped for it, but they're like the secret thing. We just 3D printed it. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like they were just getting around an NDA with a weird way of doing it, but it's not going to affect negatively or positively. If anything, positively, it'll affect the hype around the two anyway. So. None of this will matter.
People are still going to be hyped because it's Nintendo. Yeah. And Switch, I think, was a successful product for Nintendo, and I think no one's going to be unhappy about its Switch 2. But it does confirm that they're not doing something weird like, like a laser screen on your butt that Nintendo sometimes does.
They do like to do that. Every other one is something wacko, and I was really hoping they wouldn't stray too far. It sounds like they're not. And I'm excited.
I just kind of hope they were like, let's just make the Switch again, but put some power into this bad boy, and let's go. Let's go. Like
people are comparing it to a PS4 Pro or thereabouts in terms of power. That may not sound like a lot, but for that device, that is a big jump from the previous one. And really, I just want a store that doesn't chug like it's drunk.
I'd love for their store to like work better, honestly.
It's
like
terrible,
just,
and give it some music.
Yeah, put the music back in.
Yeah, what
the hell?
You're Nintendo. You've done this forever. So you suddenly stopped doing it. What is wrong with you guys?
It doesn't surprise me if you told me that Nintendo is unaware of the internet. Like, that wouldn't shock me if somebody told me that. But, like, get on there and look at how many people have posted your Wii Shop music or put it on other videos.
Mm-hmm.
Put some freaking music in your store, Nintendo. What are you doing?
I play it all the time. Listen to this. This is the DSi music, which is my favorite. But you could also, there's a bunch of them. They even did it with their SNES Mini had a full soundtrack thing, menu music. I don't know what happened here. The Switch store was made by monkeys. It's terrible. It's awful. Anyway, we'll see what they do.
I mean, Diddy Kong's doing his best.
He's always trying, just failing. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got a Dear Martha to I guess for the ages here. I don't even know what to call this thing.
This is bigger than our show notes for some reason.
Oh, I thought that was an email from a viewer. I was like, well, I don't want to spoil it, so I didn't read it.
It's from Torturous Al and our raid team.
Somebody needs to go back to college, I think. They got a lot of time on their hands. He's got some papers. They got some energy for some papers to write.
He's too busy carrying us through Queen Ansarek every week, so we'll see. Anyway, we'll get to his thing here in a minute. Also, we got our Week in Gaming, a bunch of other stuff, some emails, so stick around. We'll be right back. All right, thing, and bring us back. Hold on 1 second. All right, here we go. And we've returned. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's time for Dear Martha. You may say to yourself, I've seen all you guys can do on Dear Martha. There are no surprises left. And I would say, well, you haven't had a pal on the internet named Torturous Owl. I keep saying torturous. It might just be Torture Owl. Tortured Owl. I would say,
Yeah, don't say torture. It sounds like you're telling people to do something you shouldn't.
yeah, don't be doing that.
Leave the owls alone.
I don't need PETA on our backs. Okay. So anyway, I'll just say Owl because that's what we call him in Raid. He sent this in. And we'll talk more about our raid and our kick-ass takedown of Queen Ansarek later. That's coming up. Little teaser. But he says this. Johnny, you ready for this? As a beast. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's see what it is.
All right. Here's your prompt. Martha and her husband have a gaming podcast that is about to go on their mid-episode break for one of their first few episodes of the new year. Martha, who is the marketing lead for the podcast, just handed her husband the ad to read for a company that just signed up to financially back the podcast for the coming year, announcing all the new things to expect in 2025 from their game studio. However, before beginning, John or Beau, if you'd like to join in building the advertisement, so Beau, this is up to you, must play a small game of Mad Libs in order to fill in the blanks of the advertisement. Here's his hard mode for this.
Okay. Boy, I hope I can remember this. Okay.
Because the thing at the bottom with all the words, the thing that says advertisement, these are literally things you're going to read. You're just going to insert where the adjective and noun.
Okay. So you gotta type in the things. We're doing Mad Libs.
They're doing Mad Libs, exactly.
Part one is doing Mad Libs. Do we want to do that now?
You can do it now if you want.
Okay, you got to type it in there though.
I can do it
because I'll read it if I have to do it. So
all right.
Okay. Do we want Beau to do the Mad Libs part?
Let's do it. Beau, give me an adjective and a noun.
Rubbin chicken.
Rubbin chicken.
Rubbing chicken. No, that's not an adjective.
That's not an adjective.
Oh yeah, rubbin's not.
Well, put if verbs in there somewhere.
Rubbery
chicken. Rubbery chicken. I like it. Chicken. Okay. Next one. Give me a number.
15.
15. Give me
2, 15, 4, and the rest don't score. Cribbage, baby.
Give me a specific game feature / mechanic. Can be anything.
Gotcha.
Okay.
It's gotta be the first thing that comes to mind. So,
all right.
I can't think about it too hard.
Give me another adjective.
What's the
clammy?
Not clammy. You can't do this. It's
I don't know. I was trying to figure out what this was, and clammy.
Well, something like that feels like it has sand in it when you chew it.
Grainy.
Gritty.
Grainy. Gritty.
Gritty.
Yeah, gritty.
Gritty. Okay, I like it. A different specific game feature or mechanic than the one you did before. I need one of those.
Tank swapping.
Tank swap. All right. Then give me a tech bro buzzword.
Tech bro AI.
AI. All right. And then an adjective. Stupid. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Microtransaction noun.
Swipe.
No.
That's a verb. A microtransaction noun.
Yeah. Just like
not loss prevention.
Armor.
Not loss prevention, but what is it? Protection.
Well, it doesn't have to be a word for the microtransaction. Is like, what would the microtransaction be? So like
I said, horse armor.
Horse armor.
Example.
There you go. Like that.
Yeah.
Underwear.
Underwear. All right. That's okay. That's how this works.
I see Beau went for what he's spent money on microtransactions.
And then another
my other podcast. It's Core After Dark.
I need another adjective. Can be anything.
Sniffling.
Okay,
Wait, it's not an adjective.
I'm still
it's a
sick
verb.
for some reason.
It's a verb. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
sniffling could be an adjective. No, you're right. That's you're right.
Stuffy.
No.
Stuffy. That's perfect.
I'm a writer.
Fixing. Give me a common gamer complaint in form of a noun.
Too hard or noun?
Yeah, noun. Hard would be an adjective.
Like just what's the word for like when something's like skill walled? You know, like
let's see. Shit.
that is a noun.
You can say
right?
skill wall, right?
Skill wall.
Skill wall.
Skill wall. Okay, and then Gen Alpha slang. Anything there from those fine generation?
Skibbity.
Good one.
Good one. Okay, whoops, I almost read the thing. Okay, popular culture person or company. I think they mean popular culture, like pop culture person or company.
Pop culture person?
I'm not a popular culture person.
like just somebody that we would know.
Right.
From a company, not like a singer.
It can be or company. So pop culture person or a company. Either one. So it could be a singer if you wanted. Whatever you want.
Right.
So you could do Nike or you could do Nikkei.
That's true. You could do.
All I can think of are like Korean celebrities.
That's fine. You could do Psy. You could do.
Well, JYP is who's coming to mind. Just put that in there.
JYP. And then trending internet phrase. Could be short, middle, long. Whatever.
Trending internet phrase. Trending internet phrase.
I love that.
Farming W's.
Like right. Like massive L.
Yeah.
I really like farming.
Two L's don't make a W.
Let's do that. 2 L's don't make a W. Okay, we're almost to the end. Verb ending in the ing.
Oh, this is your wheelhouse, Beau. A verb. Finally.
I almost said F-U-C-K.
I mean, you could. You could. Well, it would be,
Yeah. I don't know. We're not. We try not to do it on too much.
You could do it.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
I kind of want to hear John say it, but I also don't want to make it.
Okay, fucking. Let's go.
All right, it's going in. In that voice. All right. Here we go. Okay, reason you might not call your extended family even though they ask you to call more often.
Passive aggression.
That's perfect. Okay.
Okay.
And then lastly, noun and a superlative, not together, separately. So a noun, let's do a noun first.
What's a superlative?
Well,
is that a heroic relative?
It is the highest order, meaning like how would you say it? How do you say a superlative? Excessive or exaggerated? Like an exaggeration.
Okay, I'm asking the wrong person.
No, like exaggeration, right? It's like exaggeration. If somebody says
expressing the highest or a very high degree of quality, a superlative adjective or adverb, an exaggerated or hyperbolical expression.
That's what I was thinking. It's that one. It's exaggeration.
Okay, so a noun and a superlative.
Yes.
Noun, car,
got it.
And poggers.
I really should have been headphones off for this part, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
I think about it.
Darn it. Okay.
The good news is I've only been half paying attention anyway. So
good. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right, we have them all. I think it's time. John, your job is to you can improv your little beginning of your podcast if you want.
Well, okay, what's the hardcore part?
Hardcore? Oh, yeah, here we go.
Is that part of it or is that a separate thing?
Here's what it says. Martha's husband, after finishing the ad read and beginning the mid-episode break, forgot to mute his microphone before turning to Martha, his co-host and podcasting marketing lead, to complain about her making a deal with this game studio as one of their financial supporters without consulting the team first. John must critique this fake video or studio based on the ad they gave and explain how he would never fully support them and not be doing any ads with this company in the future. So the idea is you read the ad and then you're pissed about the deal.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready for this?
Let's do it. You put in the stuff. Okay, yeah.
It's all in there. Here we go. Where's the... I'm all over the place here. Okay, here we go. Wait, play.
My dearest Martha, we'll be back right after this message from one of our sponsors. Greetings, adventurers. This year, Rubbery Chicken Studios is leveling up with bold resolutions for 2025. Release 15 new gacha packed with gritty action. overhaul of tank swapping with AI systems for stupid experience. Monthly updates featuring underwear that are stuffy.
Yeah.
Fixing skill walls, making your gameplay skibbity. A collaboration with JYP inspired by 2 L's don't make a W. Gamers, we hear you. We'll be actively fucking your feedback throughout the 2025 fiscal year. Don't miss out just because passive aggression. Join us for the car in 2025, the Poggers year in gaming history. Wow, Martha, really? Did you proofread this? Because it reads like it was written by someone who is unfamiliar with the English language. Now, I don't want to cast any aspersions, but the fact that they're releasing 15 gacha titles, maybe that should have been the first indication that these aren't people we should be... It's what now? We haven't... We'll be right back.
You were on the whole time. All right, that was great. I'm glad we pushed through that one because good results.
I like the overall for tank swapping.
Yeah.
With AI systems for a stupid experience.
Yep. Sounds like our first 100 wipes on Queen Ansarek. Definitely doing AI swapping for stupid. Anyway, that was great. Well done. Thank you, Torturous Al, for your submission, and glad we got to do that. All right. How about some of this? The games we played this week. Guys, I was in a mood. And I kind of haven't been able to shake this whole, like... what do I want to play right now vibe I'm having, and just getting into a thing going, I don't know, maybe I don't want this one, whatever. I found a game called Laika, Aged Through Blood. I think it's Laika, Laika. Laika. And it is the best way I can describe
dragon.
Yeah, kind of like a dragon, I guess.
Yeah.
Mad Max meets Secret of Nim is the best way I could describe this so far. It's a Metroidvania that...
A game made for you. Yeah. I understand.
Exactly. A game made exactly for me. You're this mouse or fox dude or whatever he is. No, he's a fox. He's like a... what is that animal? He's like a little...
He's
chinchilla.
not a fox, but he's pretty good looking, if you know what I mean.
It's like a chinchilla or something like that. He's on a motorcycle. It's the wastes. The wasteland is here. Everything's gone to shit. This game's got cussing and just like dark story and all this stuff. And your movement is always, not always, but mostly on a motorcycle, as you can see in this video. And you are constantly traveling around this world. And the game, that's not the important part. Like, this is traversal, but it's not like a trick system or something, although you can reload your gun when you do a backflip, which is kind of interesting. And you can also balance the bike to do certain things. You can do wheelies and all this sort of thing, but that's not the point of the game. The point of the game is mostly this big story. You're trying to unravel what's going on, traverse this world, talk to the right characters, in general, get shit done, get new abilities so you can go back to older areas, kind of like a Metroidvania would do. The art is this really great 2D approach to like the Wasteland. I fell in love with the art immediately. Part of the reason I grabbed it was on sale, and I thought, well, I like games like this. I also really like how this looks. This is a 2023 game that everybody had been raving about, and I thought I may as well buy this game. So I did. I got it cheap, and I bought it, and it is super rad. If you like anything I talked about, even just if you just like the tone of like Wasteland, dark, violent, but everyone's a little cute animal, this might be your thing. I think the art style is the thing that really does it for me the most, and the sort of tone of the story and everything. I'm not super far. I just picked it up, but I played a ton of it last night and really, really enjoyed it. And it is called Laika, Laika, Aged Through Blood is what you're looking for. And
this looks great. This looks awesome. I love the art in it.
It's really cool. There's even there's a mechanic where you learn it pretty early, but when someone shoots at you, you tap the X button at just the right moment on I guess it'd be the square on a PlayStation controller. But anyway, an X button on your controller. And if you time it just right, you'll deflect the bullet that's coming at you, and it will reflect back and kill the dude that shot it. Like one shot them, and they'll just splatter all over the place, and the blood and guts are great. There are other things, like certain ways of doing big jumps over chasms. You can block shots from enemies just because they hit the bottom of your bike. If they hit the top, you're dead, one shot dead. Lots of checkpoints, though. It's pretty generous with those. Unlike most Metroidvanias, I don't think they're trying to be ridiculously hard with the save points. The hard comes in other ways, like just encounters and how the fighting goes and all that. But lots of what's the word? Going underground, like deep underground to some pretty weird places. Some crazy overworld stuff. I'm not really sure where this story's going, but it's pretty interesting so far.
Are you doing this on Steam Deck, or are you doing this on the PC?
PC and Steam Deck. I went back and forth. I started on PC, took it to my Steam Deck, and it, cloud saved and everything, so it was easy. Runs great on Steam Deck, so that's where I played most of it last night. I was just chilling in bed. And I think it's awesome. I really like it a lot. And just looking at it is enough for me to get excited about it. Turns out it plays really well, too. So I think people will like it. There's a little getting used to. There's one thing about the controls, like it uses, by default, the left trigger is your acceleration. And your intuition is, well, don't do that. That should be the right trigger. But then I went to change it, and it felt wrong. So I think they were right to do it. I'm just not sure why they were right. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even know how to explain that. But there's something about the combo of the way you use things that they were right to make it the left one. And once I got used to it.
What do you usually use right trigger for on default?
In this one, it's shooting a gun once you get the gun. And that makes sense too, right? So what would happen is once I got the gun, I was trying to shoot it with the right one, and I had remapped the right one to be acceleration and the left one to be the gun, thinking that would be easy. But my brain just wouldn't let me do it. So I went back to the default, and it was fine.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense, actually.
Yeah. So it was a weird experience. But as you can see, lots of areas hidden because you can't get to them yet because you don't have the ability to shoot this or do that or whatever. It's just really compelling so far. And I remember seeing this last year and going, oh, I should get that. I should get it. Was never on sale. Put it on my wish list. Kind of forgot. And then it finally showed up on sale, and I got it for like $12 or whatever it was. So I think it's still up on sale.
It's like $10. I just looked at it.
Oh, is that all?
I feel like.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Maybe. Yeah, I added it to my my wish list because I think it looks good. Yeah, it's on sale right now. Special promotion till the 17th. On sale for $10.99 for me.
Nice.
So.
Worth getting at that price. It's very, very cool vibe. John, there's a lot of desert shit, but mostly it seems like deserts that were creative out of formerly lush places. But
these are cool looking deserts. These are deserts I don't mind as much.
Good. I'm always on the lookout for that, though.
I don't mind good art of a desert. I just don't typically like deserts in video games.
Sure.
Now, that's not to say that if this was an ice stage, I wouldn't think it was even cooler.
Yeah,
I would.
And there may be some of that later. I don't know how they change up the biomes. They might. But there's one of those deflect shots. So cool. And then the other thing I was going to say, once you're able to shoot stuff, the blood of your enemies is like XP kind of. And it's all just so kind of gross, gritty, and dark, but told to the eyes of these cute little animals. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like furry or anything. It's like something else. And that's why I think of Secret of Nim. It's got this like kind of dark thing going on. Anyway, highly recommend it. Very cool. I'm going to spend more time with that even tonight when I lay down again to play some more games. I also played Timewasters, another Survivors-like. Stupid name. Very dumb name.
I don't know. At least it's owning what it is. You said it, and at first I thought it was a new category of video game. I was like, "Ooh, is this the era of Time Wasters?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember that? I used to love that series. It was so good.
Like if it was the first Vampire Survivors, Time Wasters would actually be a wonderful name for this genre.
I kind of agree. Call it a time waster. And instead, what happened here is somebody said, "Hey, what if we called it that?" Even though what this should be called is some space name, because you're out in space and you're flying ships around And let me ask you if this is annoying or not, but there's a giant ship. You can see it now moving around, that yellow one. That's an AI ship. And what it does around it is a ring of yellow. Any kills you make and it runs over that ring, it will take all your little XP bonuses, although in this case it's gold. So all your little dropped XP dots, he sucks them up like a vacuum, and he's a total dick. But when you finally
so it
take him,
just to be an asshole.
But when you
that's what it is.
Exactly. But when you take him down, it's amazing because he dumps all the stuff he sucked, and you get it all at once. It's an incredible feeling.
Like a treasure goblin.
Yeah, it's a really good feeling.
This game is pretty colorful.
Oh yeah, this is
I do like the look of this. It looks like a game kids used to play in my science class in high school. I don't remember what the game was, but it looked like this.
Yeah, it
It's
definitely
funny they give it such a bad name because it looks pretty cool.
It's a stupid name, but it also is. What's the word I'm looking for? It is the auto shoot thing that John likes. I think you can aim if you want to. I can't remember how it worked. That stuff never bothers me either way, so I'm cool with it. But they get all very swarmy like you expect. Your goal is to pick up these time cubes and add those to this repository. There's a planet that just repairs you. There's another planet that's got gold mines on the outside of it. Sometimes a settlement of a planet will get attacked, and if you go stop that attack, you get tons and tons of XP. They've done some really interesting new ideas here. And I haven't unlocked any. I've only unlocked one secondary character so far. Mostly I've been spending my in-between matches unlocking, like, shields and firepower and the same. All those things are there like these games have. But it's, like you said, colorful and very stylistic and kind of wild in a lot of ways. And the boss fights are crazy. Don't even know how to describe the boss fights. They're just gigantic ships that you got to try to beat. And they're really cool. Those fights play out really well. And I like it a lot. I haven't found one of these in a while that I really glommed onto that just seemed like it was trying to do something different. And this one definitely does. It is currently available on Steam. And the other thing I like about it, it's space. So you kind of can go anywhere, right? You never feel trapped. I never feel like I'm like, oh shit. Sometimes you do. You get artificial walls because ships will close in and create a false wall or whatever, just like the other games kind of do that. But this game is really good at it just not making you feel walled in. You can get overwhelmed, but you can get out. There's a boost and some other stuff. That giant blue laser that keeps cutting through there, that's you doing that. And those are cool. Those get bigger and just lay waste to fools. There's bosses. There's all this stuff. It's great. Very cool little game. It's called Timewasters. I just don't think the name is good for what I played. It should have a cool name.
Yeah.
Because Timewasters.
I can see that.
Weird.
Yeah.
And there's a story here and there's like shit to do. And like there's more to this than most of these games in terms of the actual world you're in, not just how you shoot or kill. And I don't know. It needs a name. It's very weird. I think it's in early access still, so maybe it'll get a name change or something. I don't know. But it is called Timewasters. I like it a lot. Also got it on sale. Definitely worth checking out if you like such things. And a couple of notes. We beat Queen Dickface in WoW. Beau and I did. Yep. Took her down finally. This
Heroic Queen Ansarek is down.
Yep. 1 week. A week ago from tomorrow, we took her down, and she was hard, but we did it. We did it in 7 pulls that night. That was pretty good.
Yeah, we did it in 7 pulls, and I want to say congrats to you for sticking in there, because I know the week before, spirits were low because,
I'll tell you why they were low. Mine were low.
Hundreds of wipes on this one.
Yeah,
and
I felt like I was making everyone lose. When a tank screws up in a fight that really requires the tank to not screw up, it's a bad feeling. Because it's just like, 20 of us are dead now because I missed my mark by 1 second or whatever it was. So it took some self-reflection to decide how I wanted all that to go. Here's that boss, by the way.
And like on off weeks, on off weeks when we were doing it, I did fill in for you during Christmas and stuff to tank. So I know how tough of a, I felt a little bad because I'm like, oh, it's easy. Because like everything in WoW is easy once you've practiced it, right? Mm-hmm. But you got to practice it first. It's not easy until you get the swing of things. So she's like tough to begin with. And like for that last pull, I definitely died on my way up. It's not as if no one else isn't screwing up, and like it was kind of the thing where we had to make sure everyone stayed alive into phase 2 or 3, whatever, up on the other floor.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always somebody going down, right? So
yeah, those damn spiders. But we finally got
team
better
thing.
at that.
It's a very tough fight, and on average, most guilds on heroic are taking at least 100 wipes or more to figure out the dance with her. So there's nothing to feel bad about.
I felt good though because my first raid in the history of the game where I tanked the entire time and got to the end and beat it on heroic and did it in the role of a tank. I've always been DPS in the past. So that was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. So that was great. Super satisfying. I also beat a video game, guys. I beat a video game.
What?
I know. It's called Ghosts. And just kidding. It's called Bzzz. BZZZT. I talked about it last week some too, but I beat it since we last talked. And that game is awesome. Precision platformer, amazing animation. Love that game. I've talked about it before, so I won't go too deep because you guys have all heard me rave about it. But Bzzz is a great game. High recommendation. Overwhelmingly
you already beat a game in the new year.
I know. Well, a game from last year, but yes, I did it. And then, thanks to John, I picked up Duck Detective, and I have nothing to add to what you said, except you were right. That game is what a delightful gem that is.
It is. It's just good.
I love it, and I really like deductive games anyway. I like games where I have to think and solve mysteries and Phoenix Wright style kind of point and clicky. There's a lot in that genre, but I like that kind of thing. Professor Layton, I get some of those vibes out of it. Not quite as complicated as Layton, but you didn't tell me everybody's voiced, and they're all going, she walked into my life that night, see? I didn't think I'd see another dame for another year, see? Like all that kind of talk. It's all over the place. And it's deduction game spelled like duck.
Yeah,
like the puns.
There's a lot of duck puns.
It's so good.
Addicted to bread. There's a lot of duck references in that game.
It's really funny and fun, and I love it. So I'm really into that right now. I'm going to finish that, I think. It's short, I think, so I won't.
It is. It's not a very long game.
Yeah. And then a big thanks to Shanafan, who set me up with a copy of Lego 2K Drive. And all I've done is installed it and gotten ready to play it. I haven't played it yet, but I wanted to thank him for this because I am going to play it. He really likes it, so I'm going to give it a shot. Lego 2K Drive.
I didn't even know this was a game.
Yeah, Lego driving, man. Make your own cars, and
you can make a hamburger car.
Yeah, I think so. It's
Finally.
I'm watching the trailer now, and there's like a hamburger with wheels on it.
Yeah, man. But the whole time we've been talking, this guy's still fighting this boss. Look at this shit. Look at this boss this dude's fighting. Holy schmozy. Anyway,
is that a live stream?
Yeah, no, it's just a video. I was really bad my first run in this game, and I was able to take this thing down a lot faster later. But let's see how it turns all red. That's how you know you're beating a boss as they get more red.
Oh, they fill up with redness.
This game's great, dude. I think John would like this one. Anyway, that's it for me. John, what did you play? It says here you almost accidentally played a porn game. I don't get it. What happened?
I said I think I accidentally got a porn game.
Oh, okay. Explain.
I don't think it's actually a porn game, but I'm gonna tell you there was a lot more skin and anime girls in it than I expected.
Okay.
So this kind of popped up on my radar. The game is called Beyond Citadel, and it is touted as a boomer shooter. And I was like, okay, I like me a good boomer shooter.
Me too.
That seems like a great thing to have. And I started playing this game, and I was simply surprised by you play as an anime girl who is wearing an outfit that seems inspired by Lilu in The Fifth Element. It's a bit of bandages over you. If you look down, you can see your chest.
Nice.
And legs if you crouch, and everything's a bit provocative. And there was a brief moment where I was like, did I buy a porn game? Because I didn't really look too much at it. I was like, oh, this looks like a real stylized, cool boomer shooter.
I'm like, did you read any reviews of this? Because I just scrolled down, and like the first review that I'm looking at is anime and incest subplot aside. This is genuinely one of the best
oh my gosh. Hold on. Maybe I should cancel my refund request. Oh no, they got it. It's gone. It's not in my library anymore. Steam must have approved it.
Oh man.
You may not want to have to play this one when the family walks in on you.
I gotta repurchase it. No, this game did do some cool things, but like when I think of a boomer shooter, it's not exactly what I wanted. Like, so one thing that I thought was kind of cool, and is that you actually do, like, as far as the shooting and the reloading goes, like it actually kind of operates more like a real gun. So you have to cock the gun for like the base level shotgun, and you have to manually hit the reload button for each shell that you put in the gun. And I thought you can turn that off if you don't like it, but I thought it was neat and it felt new. But at the same time, there's a lot of.
I love that you unironically bought this thinking it was a game.
Okay. Admittedly, it was not that expensive. It was a boomer shooter, which I typically like. I saw a couple screenshots and I thought, okay, this looks pretty good. And the screenshots I saw were not what was mostly in the game.
Yeah.
And then and I saw overwhelmingly positive.
This game is overwhelmingly positive.
Admittedly, I did not scroll down to see what the reviews said. I just was like, overwhelmingly positive, boomer shooter, looks good. Gonna have to try this.
Yeah.
And it's not porn, I don't think. I never got to anybody like doing it. It's just, there's boobies and anime girls and stuff like that in it.
Sure.
It's a game you might feel a little embarrassed if other people watch you play it. That's what the game is. And if other people aren't going to watch you play it, then you're probably going to have a good time. Don't let me dissuade you in that. But I will say that I would have been fine with all of this content if I liked the way the game was playing. It was a little less run and gun in that boomer shooter style, and it was a little bit more methodical than what I liked. And
tactical.
So I wasn't a huge fan of it. So for me personally, I didn't love it, but it is getting overwhelmingly positive reviews. So judge for yourself. And hey, you know what? I'm not out there kink shaming anybody. If you want to play a booby game,
play it.
Go for it.
Do it. Listen to this review.
I didn't return it because it was a booby game. I returned it because I didn't like it.
Yeah. So this review says it pretty well. It says, genuinely the first game where women run around gutting each other with nothing but pasties on that I can safely say most people genuinely play for the gameplay. It sounds like what this is. Like it's good enough at the gameplay, but it's got these other aspects that you may or may not be aware of when you bought it. But
yeah, there's another one in there that's saying like these gun mechanics should be in every other game.
Yeah, the gun mechanics are really cool and interesting, and that part played well. I wish it had been advertised differently, because it was definitely an expectations met reality thing for me, where it was like, this is really cool, but this isn't the game I thought I was playing.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was going to get in and play one of those, there's like 100 of them, boomer shooters that have come out recently.
So many.
And I thought I was going to be playing something like that. This, like, the shooting felt really good. The stuff I had problems with, I thought the audio was a little bad. It had like really high, weird, like, sounded like my speakers were breaking peaks. And also it seemed, for what it was, surprisingly taxing on my computer. My computer just would sit there, took a long time to load, and like revved up my computer in a way that I was like, is this fine? So those were mostly what my issues were, is an issue of expectation and a couple other quibbles with how its performance was. But in terms of like the shooting mechanics and all that stuff was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these reviews. People raving about the way the guns work. Like, legitimately.
It's funny because it's like, it looks like a very low frame rate on the guns, and I'm like, what? It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I can't tell by watching it.
Yeah.
No, you kind of have to play it and see how it feels. And at first I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good at all. And then once you kind of find the rhythm with it, you're like, no, this actually is kind of cool. Like, it kind of just, it adds like a level of thought, because normally in these games you just run and you kind of just mindlessly shoot, and then when you're out of bullets, Your character automatically reloads the gun. But this is you've got enemies barreling down on you, and you pull the trigger, and the gun goes click, click, and you go, oh, I've made a mistake. I was not counting my bullets. I was not reloading. It really is an interesting mechanic in that regard. And I do think that this would be something I would like to see in other video games for sure. I think it's really interesting in that.
All right, there you go. Beyond Citadel. So if you're okay with some of the subject matter,
probably not a porn game.
Yeah,
this is pretty tame for a porn game, honestly.
Even the tags don't have all the sexual explicit.
Well,
tags.
and that's the other thing. Yeah, it didn't say like this is a. I did look at the tags.
Mm-hmm.
The tags did not say.
No. I think they're just.
Any of that.
I think it's just, like you said, it's scantily clad and maybe some weird plot stuff, but this isn't the full degen that you can find on Steam. Well, it looks like it though. It
does look like it at times. Yeah.
Developer says frequent violence or gore and general mature content. So that's not too crazy.
What you have to do is cruise over to the discussions and find out that there's a patch that puts in the stuff they're not allowed to have for sale on Steam that patches it in.
Yeah.
Also, when you die, it's incredibly graphic. Like, you know how the Doom guy used to get more beat up as he took damage?
Yeah.
In this, you get your face caved in, and then they make sure they put sprites of your disembodied lower body torn open and guts spilling out. It is very graphic.
All right. Well,
so it might be for you.
Yeah.
That's my promotion for it.
Hey, Beau, didn't you Mullet Mad Jack came up when I looked at this other game? It suggested this as an alternative. Isn't that one that you thought was awesome with the shooting and stuff? Was that the one?
It was on my top get in and just shoot things. It's Mullet Mad Jack's awesome. It's a little pricey for what it is, but it's very good. But that's the one where you don't have health. You just have 10 seconds before you die, and every kill gets you one more second.
That's right.
So you got to kill a lot to get a lot of seconds. You just press W and shoot, and that's because of how stylish it is. Graphically, it's very it's good.
All right.
Yeah, and to a degree, that's more what I thought I was gonna get.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, I maybe wait for a sale, but I do highly recommend. Because for me, it's this is showing here $25, and knowing what it is, it's not it's not worth it, but it just seems a bit pricey. I think for how simple of a game it is, even though there's good aesthetic in it and and all that. I don't know.
All right, well, John.
Yeah, it was on Beyond Citadel was $13.49 for me. Again, it's getting overwhelmingly positive reviews, so there is a decent chance that if you're okay with the content, you'll probably, find something to like in here.
Yeah.
But, know what to expect.
Yeah. That's an important aspect of all this. All right, cool. I didn't mean to derail you there. What else did you get up to? Some of the usuals, it looks like.
Yeah, beyond that, it's the start of a new year, and I think a lot of people have a tendency with the start of a new year to go back to what they find comfortable. And so I played a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, Baldur's Gate 3, and I did, new for me, not new for the show, I did pick up and play Dungeon Clawler.
Yeah!
Which I like quite a bit.
It's good, right? I told you.
It is good, and it's kind of funny the way you do builds in that, because I've never played a game like this where you're kind of thinking, you're not thinking I'm going to go in with this build, or at least I'm not yet, because I'm still only a couple runs in, but you think something that adds fluff to the machine, no biggie, that's fine, that's not a penalty. And then you end up with a machine full of fluff, and you're like, God damn it, why did I take that item? Yeah. What have I done? This machine's full of fluff.
Yeah, there are times where that really will benefit you if you're doing the right build, but then there are times where it's a huge hindrance. Sometimes water is amazing, but then you don't have the right other items to electrify because of the water. There's just so much there's so much depth in that shit they do. That's why I love this game. Freaking love it. So good.
Yeah, so I don't have much to add from what Scott has already said about it. I'll just confirm, as far as I'm concerned, it's good. It's very good.
All right, so if you're looking for an adult game, John, I'm cruising through Steam and I go to popular upcoming, and I got a title for you.
Yeah.
The Iske Reincarnation Magic Cock.
What?
I just wanted to say that title. What is
Oh yeah, oh wow.
Reincarnation Magic Cock? It looks terrible.
No
I'm not
shit.
clicking
All
on it.
right, get out of there.
Yeah, no, don't click on it. It's probably, especially that we're live. We don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Followed by sexuality with girlfriends.
Great.
With girlfriends.
I just
mean,
like
that's
the
good.
bad titles of these things.
Oh, it's a gotcha game too. You got to collect all these ladies. So
Of course they are.
yeah, that's what they
anyways,
do.
Yeah.
How's
Lots
that
of
one
adult-
reviewed? Oh, that comes out on the 10th. That's tomorrow. Everyone.
Yeah, these
look
are all
forward to
popular upcoming. Yeah.
it. Steam.
Yeah. Steam.
Oh, sorry, John.
Ushering in a new era of porn.
You already did mention all these, didn't you? What are you doing in
Yeah,
Final
I
Fantasy 14 right now? Just what are you doing that game between things?
Well, I logged in to see if I won the lottery, like I do every week. Try to win the lottery, not the housing lottery. I already won that lottery, the gold saucer lottery.
Yeah.
I did that and logged in, and then I thought, you know what? I haven't played 14 in a while. Let me do some of that. So I started doing some of the new quests they've added. That was genuinely a lot of fun. I got up to the new raid, but I haven't run it yet. Because I got my usual I don't remember the fights. I gotta go see what these fights are before I get into the raid. Because now the content's been out for a couple weeks, and I don't want to be the worst. I'm fine with going in not knowing what to do and dying. Like, that's a part of it. People die all the time, especially if you say, "Hey, it's my first time here." But I want to at least have some idea what I'm doing, and that's the callback to Final Fantasy XI Alliance raid that they did. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting, but from what I've heard, it's pretty mechanics heavy. So I do want to watch a little breakdown of what to expect before I go into that. And while I was in, I just logged in one day, and there was a group formed to fight a rare monster, a rare fate that doesn't come up all the time. I joined, got all my items, and I got myself a sweet little mechanical frog mount to ride around on.
Nice.
So that made me happy.
Can
I
your
was like,
frog
yeah.
mount fly? All the mounts fly, right?
Every mount flies.
Okay.
Even if it's stupid, it flies. The frog one actually makes sense. Little rocket boosters come out of him and he flies. So he makes sense. It's
Okay.
not like the gorilla that just kind of goes, "Ooh." Up he goes. Which I'm going to say, as much as we laugh at it, one of it might be my number 2 on my WoW wish list. Just make all mounts able to fly.
I'd be all right
You
with that.
already have so much stupid stuff in that game that can fly that doesn't make any sense. You are not holding on to some artistic integrity by going, well, these mounts certainly won't fly. Just let them fly. It makes mounts way more fun because nothing is worse in WoW than getting a ground mount and going, oh, here's something I'm not going to use ever,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's supposed to be one of the coolest rewards in the game, but then it doesn't fly, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm not really ever going to use this because it doesn't have any utilization. Like Final Fantasy doesn't have that problem. Every mount, even if it's dumb, will fly, and that's the way it should be.
I kind of agree. I think they hold out because there's money to be made in the banana stand on flight. I think that they know that. They know they can sell $25 mounts, and they'll get more for those than they would for ground mounts that won't fly.
Yeah, but they can up the price on all of them if they all fly.
I mean, I agree. I don't know why they don't. I don't disagree with that. I think they think they have value in that, but I don't think it's true. I think they should just
So
do it.
Kazumi in the chat says, actually. I love when people actually. It definitely means you're going to get a response. No flying mounts on the Siren Isle right now, and wow, that's fine. But how many people go, oh sweet, no flying? Let me change all my hotbars so I can use my ground mounts that have been ignored. You just use your flying mounts and run around on the ground.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like there's lots of areas you could point to and say, oh, it's only ground mounts in here. Like when we're in the raid, there's a portion of that raid where the current raid where you can kind of stop and repair and do stuff, but all you can do is ground stuff, including the flying mounts are limited to ground. So that's fine. That's fine to have a place where you can't fly. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
Contextually, it makes perfect sense. But just make it so everything can fly where if you're out and about. If you're going to let that ruby tiger I got in Mists of Pandaria fly, it's got no wings, no exhaust pipes, nothing coming out of its butthole to propel it forward. It's just floating. If you can do that, you can go ahead and do all of them. Just let them be. You know what, John? I signed your newsletter. I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah. Sometimes it makes mounts better. I don't like the gorilla mount in Final Fantasy, but I like that it flies.
You guys know what else I found out this week?
What?
I did a video about this, so you may have seen it. But I found out these WoW 2008 mount cards are all worth about $300 each.
What? Really?
If I sold them on eBay, I could make there's about $2,500 here. Now, I've already given away half of them, which means there's another $2,500 already gone. I'm not going to sell these because that would not be in the spirit in which they were given to me. I will still give these out. But I'm not giving anyone physical cards. You're all going to have, I'm scraping off the thing here and taking a picture of the number and sending it to you and then snipping the card. Because if I see these on eBay, I would be so mad.
Yeah.
Anyway, can you believe that though? These go for $300.
That's insane.
I know.
That's crazy.
And I found out Tanner was telling me that the old TCG card, what's it called? Spectral Tiger. If you have one of those, $12,000. $12,000.
Nuts.
Yeah. Anyway, digital items, man. Polygons. All right, John, that sounds awesome.
Digital items.
Beau, you've been ReFantazioed. How did that feel?
Yeah, so let's all right, let's put a bit of context up here before we get through, because we didn't talk about games we played last week, right?
No.
I pulled myself away from Path of Exile 2.
Okay.
That's the subtext here.
Sure.
That I'm done with the game, and
for a while.
Yeah, for at least until I think full release. The end game is, a little imbalanced in my opinion. But yeah, so last week we did our Game of the Year show, and we had a situation at the end where we were trying to pick the core Game of the Year, and I said, look, I think probably you're right to pick, even though I haven't played Metaphor ReFantazio, it makes sense for the core pick to be something we all played. So I will play it.
Yeah.
And as my Steam stalkers have pointed out in various locations, Beau's only got 0.3 hours in Metaphor ReFantazio. When are you going to play Metaphor ReFantazio? What's going on with Metaphor ReFantazio?
Yeah.
And as it stands, as of current count in my Steam account, I am at 111 minutes. So almost 2 hours of Metaphor ReFantazio.
Yeah.
So a bit of I'm sorry to come to the show today, having failed in my assignment, but welcome. I'm sure now you have the experience of what it was like being one of my teachers over these many years.
You've now learned what it's like to be told from Beau, I did not do the homework.
Yeah.
This won't affect your grade, though.
Yeah, so I think the thing is, the reason why I bring up the Path of Exile thing is like that game's very much a let me play my game and put something on the second screen game. And Metaphor isn't that kind of game.
Nope.
Metaphor is like hey, pay attention to me. Things are happening. Excellent voice acting is occurring, and is going on. Like I'm trying to watch this Path of Exile build guide while I play. What the hell, I can't be. Yeah, so all that to say is I haven't had a good frame of mind to play it because I've been in, as Scott, you pointed out earlier, it's that time of year. I just want to blast in a game. And because I was still enjoying Path of Exile 2, but I said, wait until it's in a better state and put some hours in. WoW has been filling that hole. So this past week I did my, 8 plus 10 mythic runs to get my myth rolls, which were the Great Vault was sorely disappointing because it was all stuff I had, and I was like, yeah, but it still had good time, and I'm only 20-ish points away from 2,500 mythic rating, which is I think there's another achievement behind that. You get a thing where you can make all of your armor colors have special things or something. So I'm almost there. So I was having a good time wowing it up, that's an easy game. It's easy to put on an MMO and just do your, blast dungeons and grind shit and watch some stuff on the other screen. So that kept being my default mode where it's I should play Metaphor. It's I'm just going to log into WoW for an hour, and then that would turn into a session, and then I wouldn't get to Metaphor. So yesterday, after coming home from work, I turned on Metaphor and gave it a good 2 hours, but I got sleepy. So that's only got 2 hours in. So now we get to the point where 2 hours in, what do I think? Well, this seems to be my first impression is it's a JRPG, and it looks like it's a particularly robust one. Meaning, I don't think I'm getting to anything good until 10 hours. There's a lot of setup, right? It's like we talk about this with Yakuza all the time. I could clearly see the opening of the game is like, "Who are you? Are you from another dimension? Do you like fantasy? What is fantasy?" And it's like, okay, we got to do the table dressing. It's fine. I'm not going to complain about it, but the game is a little like into the fact that it's like a fantasy world. It's like, oh, hello, you're here. From what world are you from? And there's just a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I guess what I would say is so far what I played, I thought was cool. I'm not like the biggest fan of the character you play. He seems kind of, I'm a boy or something.
which honestly was a bit of a reveal, but yes,
it was. That happened. That's happened like 8 times in that game where I'm like, oh, who's this lady? And then a guy, hello and welcome. Oh shit, sorry. I feel like
I actually had a moment in the game when I first played it where I was like, it's cool that you play a girl in this game, and then he's like, hi everybody, and I'm like, oh, never mind. I was wrong. I was not correct on my assumption.
The art's cool, and the upsetting of expectation. Like, it seems like it's a well thought out one of those games, and then you get to the point where it's like, oh no, there's a big monster. He's like, that's a human, and I'm like, oh, we're doing this now. So there's some, it's good. It's not bad. It's just like. But, it demands attention. Like, there's a whole world to unravel, and you're not going to get much out of it if you're not paying attention to it. But I'm not at the point yet where, like, I'm hooked. I got a little hooked right where I stopped off, which is, like, your first mission is you're friends with the prince who's, like, got lasered to see you. And, in order to... But, he's, like, heir to the throne, and the royalties all dropping off like flies, so you got to send a secret message to somebody in a tower. And to do that, for some reason, you have to be recruited into the weirdest guard club. I love the Captain Klinger, the guy who's like, welcome, you want to join the guard? Welcome to a world of pain.
Yeah.
that guy. The voice acting's pretty phenomenal, and it is really goofy. It's interesting. And I got to the tower and met the guy, and what was like interesting was just like, oh, here's the message. You need to kill Louis. Great, let's go. And you're like, oh shit, now I'm killing somebody? So I was like, oh, I want to see. I'm curious like where it's going to lead to.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't gotten like super hooked on it. But it was fun. But it was just demanding of attention, and I just felt very distracted playing it. And it's a bit of that phenomenon where it's like, I have to play this now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I don't want to.
Well, now you technically have. Your responsibility is officially off now.
Yeah. I think you can get back to it when you're in the mood for such things. And when you do, I think you'll really like it.
The danger with that is like get back to it and 4 months goes by. You know what I mean? Like that's how this stuff always plays out. But at the same time,
but for game of the year where it's like, hey, are you going to put that on your best 2024 game I played in 2025? And you're like, no, I've just been playing WoW though.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
I'm almost mythic ready on the newest raid, John. I can't not play WoW now.
I have to be there.
No, that was more of a comfort game because I'm pretty much done with like until the new patch comes out with the new raid. Like, I'm pretty much done. Like I can just show up Fridays for fun times.
Well, I believe you, but here's a spoiler for WoW because I have inside information. There's always going to be a new patch.
Oh shit!
No, I know.
Oh,
there's always going to be a new patch.
Like WoW wise, it's like I'm Omega geared at this point, and it's cool. It's fun to be back in the swing of those things.
Yeah,
but
you are.
There's only so much you can do. It's not like before when you play classic. There's like something you can be grinding. It's like it's just mounts. It's like, do you want to mount?
You want to mount? Yep.
But no, I think you've been very fair on Metaphor because I guarantee you if you had come on here and tried to tell your full experience out of 2 hours and just been like, this is my thought. I don't much care for it. I'm not feeling it yet. People would have immediately jumped on you and been like, well, you didn't even get to where it gets good.
Mhm.
You know, so I don't think you're being unfair to say like, hey, I barely scratched the surface, so this is
like
where
I'm
I'm at.
still on board with like it being game of the year because like so far what I played felt like quality. Not everything about the game was appealing to me yet. Like I'm not, like I said, like the character you play kind of is like hasn't grown on me yet. That's all I can say. I don't have any negative feelings.
Yeah, character you play is pretty neutral. Although you can actually, and I never do this because it's never me in games, but I was actually extremely surprised by how much of an asshole you can be in some of the responses that you can select for him.
Yeah,
where it's,
I've seen that.
I was like, I never pick them, but it's like every now and then it'll just pop up where someone's like, man, the children are missing, and all of a sudden the main character's like, that's terrible, or we got to find them, we have to do something, and the bottom option's like, so
Yeah,
Right.
like big deal.
screw them kids.
Yeah.
Like it's, and I never pick it, so I'm always curious how the world would react to it if you did. But
I wonder that too because it is like pretty like it's intense. Like they show people getting killed and stuff. It's not like it looks cute and cuddly, but like people are dying. People are getting hung for a reason I'm not sure why.
Story
Just
goes hard.
political sides.
Yeah.
So it does kind of look like I am like somewhat interested because like it's dressed up and like this is a fantasy story, blah 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 blah. But it does also seem to have pretty adult themes. And knowing what I know from what you said about it, I'm curious about where it goes. So we'll see. It was just again, it's not a fault of the game. It's just I know probably the game needs 10 hours for table dressing, which is completely fine. And understanding that RPGs usually, they usually take some time for you to settle into. And I see the quality of it there. It just wasn't in that vibe where I'm like, I'm going to lock in and get into this game. But I think probably once you hit a certain point, that could happen. So I'm hopeful that I'll give it another effort.
Yeah.
that has been my story with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yep.
Like I'm in the exact same place with that game where I tried to force it before Game of the Year, couldn't get into it, and now I'm like, well, I don't have the pressure. I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm pretty sure I will like it when I actually get to it.
Yeah. Me too. I didn't even launch it. It's still sitting on my hard drive, just taking up space. Going, I belong in a museum instead of getting played, and I need to play it. Beau, tell me about workers and resources because this looks great. I'm super curious about this.
So this is another game that I bought a while ago and didn't get to it. I'm like, I do kind of want to play this. It's kind of memey, but basically it's a city builder. But as far as a city builder goes, it's like a Soviet city builder. So it's not Russia, but you're building statues of Lenin. It's obviously very much inspired by this you have to build a glorious communist nation.
Yeah.
But everything kind of sucks. Like all the like buildings that people are in have that brutalism, like architecture style and stuff. You're building a Soviet republic, and you can basically trade with the Soviet superpowers with your ruples or rupees or something, and you can use like US dollars to trade with the Western world. But be careful that they don't influence you too much. People like stuff from the Western world, but it can make them too happy. And it's just a city builder. Apparently, if you judge by like what's going on here, there's a lot of context menus in the game and graphs. So I decided I'm not just going to wing it. I'm going to play the tutorial. So I've only played a couple hours of tutorial, I think, or maybe an hour of tutorial. And so far, it's okay. It's okay. I haven't gotten to the juice of it yet.
Seems pretty pretty
it's
well
like
reviewed.
kind of drab. Like I build these roads, I build a food factory, I build a store where the food factory can be dispensed to people, and like that's about it. Yeah, and like there are like a lot of like these menu things. So I'm a little concerned about how fun it might be, but I don't know. I kind of bought it because I thought it would be comical. I'm like a city builder with Soviet style. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it that hilarious when I was playing it. But it's full ass game that's working and functioning. I don't know. I don't super recommend it or anything. I just have a like your style of game that you're curious about. I see city builders and go like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I do that sometimes too.
Yeah. The music's great in it though. It's like full Soviet brass, like fanfare. Like it's
great.
The music's pretty great when you're playing it. It's like I'm just building a road, but it's like go 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 go. Like it's just so.
See if I can get a little taste of that here.
Yeah, the theming's good, but yeah, it's.
That's actually pretty great.
Yeah, so it's like this intense, like Soviet music, and I'm just building like just a road in these depressing buildings, and even like you can buy various cars, but they're all like they all look like shitters. Like they're just shitty old cars, they're not like cool cars, and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's I may flip it on again, but I gave it a whirl because I really wanted to see what this is about. It is kind of funny.
Oh, this publisher did Old World. I like that game a lot. All right, they got some stuff.
It's a competent game. Like it's not. I mean, I didn't run into any bugs. I didn't play that much, but it's not. It's not janky. It's like.
Manor Lords is theirs. That's cool. All right, I have to check it out. I'm curious about it.
And the title just made me laugh. It's like it's called Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Like just the title alone, I was like, that's who would buy this?
Yeah. Well, now we know. Beau Schwartz.
Play that hot game, Workers and Resources.
Nice. Nice. Very cool. That's what we played this week, everybody. It's now time for some of these.
That's a good question.
A couple of quick texts from our listeners at 801-471-0462. We'll start with this one from an anonymous poster who said, to the Core podcast, and Scott in particular, the NFL wanted an exclusivity deal, not EA. We're talking about back in the early aughts. They put it up for bid, and EA won the bidding. If you want to be mad at someone, be mad at either the NFL for demanding exclusivity or 2K for not ponying up enough to outbid EA, says this anonymous listener. Well, that's a good point. We all dogpile on EA for that. And, for those out there that care about sports licensing, we should maybe we're directing our anger at the wrong entity. Perhaps it's the NFL's fault for wanting to be exclusive, because that really was the thing they pushed. And, just because 2K couldn't quite do the bid, it's not really EA's fault that they had more money. Anyway, that's a quick one. How about this one from Ricky? Hey, Core dudes. Last episode, you talked about Babbage's, the game store, and both thought it was a weird name.
Oh, no.
Charles Babbage is considered the father of computers. He created the idea of a computer in the 1800s, made the first mechanical computer. All of it's in Wikipedia. Love the show, Ricky. So put your...
Beau has turned into Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Nice.
Look, I got a lot of comments about this one. Because I was just laughing at the fact that the store was called Babbage's, because
it's a silly name until you know.
I think the name sounded funny, and I tweaked a lot of people with it. Apparently,
Yeah.
they're like, actually, Babbage is awesome, and I'm like, it's still a funny sounding name, guys. Like, I don't, I didn't know that off the top of my head that he was the father of computers or whatever, but so I appreciate the lesson.
It's like people name.
However,
it's like Asperger's.
It's just like it's so close to cabbage, right? Like, hi, I'm Bill Cabbage. Like you'd be like, you didn't think that you'd want to change your name, like
Bill Cabbage.
Like I hate to be that way because everyone's like proud of their name, right? And to be like a name snob and be like, your name's silly and it makes me laugh is like super insulting.
Yeah.
Because when you have it, it's normal to you, but when someone outside is, it just seems like you should probably change it because it's too goofy. Like being called, I don't know.
If your last name was Chode, if your name was Chode and you you discovered Chode syndrome, nobody wants that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. Like people, I know because my dad was like, people get this way about a name and they're like, just remember you're Schwartz.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's like, I don't like, who cares? But people get that way about like their lineage and their family. And it's like, it's my name. Yeah. And I guess like, I don't really respect that a whole lot. And Babbage is a goofy name. I'm sorry. It just sounds like cabbage. It's like Mr. Cabbage invented computers.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh. I mean, it's not really rational. It's just funny.
It'd be cool if the place was called Cabbages. Now that you say it, I like that better.
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare said, "A rose by any other name would smell as sweet."
That's
Doesn't
right.
matter. Doesn't matter what your names are. It doesn't matter what anyone's called. Really, at the end of the day,
Yeah,
it's just a syllable. It's just a thing you out your mouth.
it's true.
So yeah,
Asperger's. That's the one they took out recently and just call it. They just
so they
group
changed
it
it because it sounded like it's a burger for your ass.
I think so. I think they did. They won't say
That's
that
a
they
community
did.
joke, by the way, because the first episode, like Abed's like, Jeff's like, and you have Asperger's.
Yeah.
And then Troy looks at Pierce and goes, Asperger's, like a burger for your ass. And they start laughing. It always stuck with
Did
me.
they change the name of it? Is it not called that?
Well, in the
something
DSM,
else.
it's all just various tiers of
Yeah.
autism spectrum disorder.
Oh, okay.
And I think the actual real reason they changed it was because it makes it sound like it's something different. Like, it's like, do you have autism or do you have Asperger's? So
Yeah,
it's like, it's
yeah.
all the same spectrum of symptoms. So it's confusing to have two names for the same thing. essentially.
That
Neurodevelopment
makes
disorder
sense.
characterized by a bunch of stuff. It says right here that the name was changed. Let's see, the syndrome was named in 1976, so we've had it for a long time. It was an Austrian pediatrician named Hans Asperger, or Asperger is how you'd say it. Asperger.
Asperger.
But it looks like Asperger. There's no B in there at all. It's just Asperger. Anyway, described children in his care, struggled with blah. So basically it was autism before I had a name for it. And so now they're like, well, we have a name for it now. Just put it on the spectrum. And now it's called...
I think the implication was like Asperger's was like a more functional version of
Yeah, high
severe
function.
autism. It was very confusing. So now it's just they have levels for it or something like that. And
Yeah, it's
just
called DSM-5. Is that right? Let's see.
that's the manual.
Oh, that's the manual. Sorry.
Yeah. The DSM is the fifth version of the DSM is the manual where all this stuff is defined by the World Health Organization or something like that, whatever organization that.
It says the change was very controversial. I wonder why. Were they wanted Asperger's to get his constant credit for that or something? I don't know.
I don't know, but they're like, it's basically Asperger is an ascendant class of autism. It's not an ascendancy. It's just like the stereotype you would see in media is like the detective with Asperger's who can't read facial clues but can solve crimes, right?
Oh, like
there's
Monk.
so many
Yeah.
versions.
Yeah.
There's so many versions of Asperger's, and the mythology is like they're these high functioning but poor, like have social difficulties kinds of people. But like that's incorrect. It's just symptoms of autism or symptoms of autism. So I don't know if people like maybe mourn the loss of that distinction because you might grow to identify with your conditions as something that you tell people. It can be identity forming, and it can be seen as maybe taking something away. I don't know. I don't know what the controversy would be otherwise, but
Weird.
yeah. I mean, it's just labels again at the end of the day. So
One of the smartest guys I ever knew was a programmer I worked with for a while at a company who claimed he had telltale Asperger's syndrome, had been, had been diagnosed and, confirmed and all that. And yes, he was awkward socially, but holy crap, he could outthink everybody in that damn building. He just was so smart, so punching above his pay grade. I just couldn't believe this dude, how smart he was. And I remember thinking, I could do a little Asperger's. Let's go. Let's do it. I want to be smarter.
Well, a lot of that stuff too, like mimics things we might experience as like difficulties, like the line where something is a disorder symptom or just personality or the challenge of being human is like very gray. There's actually it's very hard to just draw lines where like, oh, I'm not very smart. Well, it doesn't mean you have a disorder. You're just maybe a little stupid or you didn't study or something. You know what I mean? Like,
You're not so. I'm not very smart. Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. You might just be a little stupid.
well, I mean, we don't talk about that, but
big
like,
dummy.
I don't know why that isn't. I have to ask someone. Maybe you could talk to Wendy about that on one of your Wendy things. Like, why is this stupid a disorder? Like, have we not advanced enough to actually look at certain people and go like, actually, you don't have these disorders that people traditionally do, but you actually have a low threshold for intellect. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of gross because then it's just like we like freedom and we don't like.
Let me classify them.
We don't like precogging people and saying like, yeah, you're classified as stupid, so go here. But at the same time, you see examples of it like every day of people doing really dumb things, and it's hard not to be like, should they really be elected president or something? Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy to me.
This used to be called, before they had the Asperger's thing in the 70s, they called it schizoid disorder of childhood. That's terrible.
That's just a legacy of really rough names.
Yeah, I don't like.
It's probably better not to do that because then stupid people would be in charge of defining who's stupid, and then that creates problems too. It's just let's stay. Yeah, I think I answered my own question there. But,
I think you did too. Well, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Nice job, Ricky. You got us talking, and we love we love these messages.
He just wanted to say Babbage is awesome, and it just ended with no change. I'm like,
thanks for that,
name?
Ricky.
Yeah,
but I'm sure he's awesome. I just think Babbage is a funny name, and it made me laugh. I didn't mean to be irreverent towards your holy prophet of computing.
Yeah, so. Charles Babbage. Ricky, I want to know if this is Ricky LaFleur from the Trailer Park Boys. That'd be amazing if it was that Ricky.
Oh, it was Ricky.
Yeah. I was like, you have to say, P.S. I'm drinking from piss jugs.
Ricky LaFleur has no idea who Charles Babbage is.
Good point.
He didn't even write this. Every word seems spelled correctly except for my name, which has an X in it for some reason.
Yeah, why? I see this a lot, actually. I sometimes fix them before I read them on the show, but I get a lot of X's at the end of Beau. Is that a common thing?
Yeah, actually, that's a question thing. I've seen it too. And common misspellings are B.O., but B.O. I get because...
B.O. a lot of
B.O. I get.
Well,
I get B.O.
Well, I get B.O., but like I understand why you would spell it B.O. because if you weren't French, the fact that EAU is O,
right?
You take 3 letters just to do what one letter can do is, one of the genius ingenuities of French. There's so many words with EAU that is just O. That I understand why an English-speaking person would just be like, put an O there and not.
We can save some time.
Oh, the X is Old English for the plural of Beau, your regular name, meaning an old-fashioned word for a young man who's attractive or fashionable. Ooh, a young Beau is under that thing.
Yes.
The X means multiples of those.
Yes, and that is true in French as well. Like there is uses where you put X for plural, but I don't expect an English-speaking person to know that.
Yeah.
And I expect a French-speaking person to know my name is not plural.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, why would you put an X?
Are they doing the plural because they're doing like a shortening of Beau is, which is not correct, but no.
No, probably not.
I don't know.
Here's how
no reason to your names never get pluralized. That's not a mistake I've ever seen you guys have your name.
Let me ask you this. Is this correct? Here, I'm going to play the voice.
Bzzz.
He's putting an X.
The X is silent.
Well, what is wrong with this idiot? This guy's terrible then. Hold on. How about this one? How about this one?
Beau.
Okay, that's
yeah.
At least you could hear it. What good is a pronunciation if it's like
Excursion.
Oops, that's not it.
I need to know how to pronounce B-E-A-U-X.
Beau is the French word for dancing. We've covered this before.
Asperger's syndrome.
All right, internet.
Asperger's syndrome.
Good lord.
To say it's so weird.
Like a super villain is about to reveal his final plan to you.
That was really weird.
Asperger's syndrome.
My favorite though is when there's certain people, particularly like telemarketers or whatever, when they call in, they're looking for me, and they're like, "Can I speak to Mrs. Beau Schwartz?"
Oh, you got a Beau?
I see the name and think girl, and I'm always like, that's interesting to me. I'm like, why would you think that like I feel a way about it? I don't care, but it's just interesting that you're, because to some people, my name is like, oh my God, how am I going to say this one right?
Yeah.
So they're like, let me throw it at the dartboard. It's Mrs. Biao. And I'm like, where,
Sounds like a name for a cat.
Yeah.
And I think, like, what web of context did you assemble out of your knowledge to, like, think that was your, like, odds-on best shot? And it's happened very consistently, I will add. Like, it's not just a one-off.
Wow.
Yeah, so I still puzzle about that. If anyone has an answer, it'd be cool.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. Send us
I
a
should
message.
ask the next telemarketer. I just really avoid answering phone calls these days. So, but
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd rather do it to us directly, you can go to frogpants.com/core, and all the ways to contact us are there. So please take advantage of those. I would like to mention some brand new Year's folks who have joined us on our Patreon. It was so nice to see this. Yeah. Really nice to see. So we got Martin de Jagar. It's not Jagger. Jager. No double J. No. Sorry, one G, not
Martin
two G's.
Jaga.
Yeah. So I don't think he's related to you, John. Cameron Presley, Justin Coates, Philip Case. I always had a good case for my Philip every time. It's just kept it. It lasted longer and didn't get scratched.
I mean, it's great to put your Phillips screwdriver in a case.
Exactly right. Matt Peterson, Cash. Spelled like memory cache. That's kind of cool.
Are you sure the list wasn't just being put into memory when you got to that part?
I'm pretty sure. Brad Harton and then Paul. Just Paul.
Paul, the
Paul
fighter.
from,
He's got the big hair. And
yeah. There you go. That's that Paul.
That's sick. I didn't know Paul from Tekken. Listen, that's awesome.
Paul's the best. His hair goes way up. Anyway, these guys are all brand new supporters. No commercials ever. Pre-show content every week. Monthly benefits, including art in the mail and many other things. Host specials, all this fun stuff. If you like that stuff, let us know what you think. I think it's Beau's month for...
It is my month, yeah.
What do you got? You got anything in mind? Like a cool...
I don't know. I've got some ideas, maybe, but I think I did the idea that I have already. I need to go back and figure that out.
Well, all things willing, all things happening the way they're supposed to, I should have a brand new interview up on the feed tomorrow as well for patrons and for live folks. So you'll be held over with this episode and then this awesome interview and then something from Beau coming. Yeah, I'm recording tomorrow. Can you believe it? Came really fast.
Thick.
Anyway, unless something crazy happens, it should happen. And I'm excited to hear what people think. So watch for that as well. Talk to the core at gmail.com or 801-471-0462. Once again, ways to contact us. Grandma, we need to hand you the microphone and let you remind us what we played today, if you don't mind.
Well, it's time to find out how the Core boys are starting the year. And here's the video games they played. They played Laika, Aged Through Blood. I'm Aged Through Time.
Yeah.
Speaking of time, he also played Timewasters and World of Warcraft, which Beau also played.
Also a time.
He also played Duck Detective and a game called Bzzz. And Lego 2K Drive. John played maybe a porn game called Beyond Citadel. So if you like boobies, check it out.
Yeah.
And he also played Final Fantasy XIV, Baldur's Gate 3, and Dungeon Clawler.
Nice.
Beau sort of played Metaphor ReFantazio. And then he also played the tutorial of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, but mostly WoW.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I played some Rivals too, Grandma.
Oh,
He
Little
also
Rivals.
played Marvel Rivals, which you wouldn't be curious about at this stage in the show because he didn't talk about it on the show, but there it is.
Yeah, really, but I did play it.
I like that. All right. Well done, Grandma. You did great. You're going to make it to 112. I can just feel it. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening, for hanging out with us today, for being a part of this. If you want to be here live, we record Thursdays at noon Mountain Time. You can just follow us at frogpants.tv. We've always got live links all set up. A bunch of other cool stuff happening around the network, so check it all out. That'll do it for us. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Those pants are made for frogging, if you know what I mean. I actually don't. Frogpants.com.